Crossover continues to evolve.
Scott Overtime, Gary Sharp and David Benning show with Connor Happer show. Good morning, Connor.
Hello, gentlemen. How we doing?
Have you ever done the 6 a.m. shift in radio?
Yes, I have.
Do you ever not feel tired while you're doing it?
No, that lasts forever.
I don't know how they do it.
You don't get used to it.
God bless Damon Benning.
If you can somehow wean yourself off of taking naps, that's the best you can do, but you're still going to feel tired. What I did when I did that show,
was that the shift you had in Lincoln?
One of them.
Yeah,
I did all the hours in Lincoln, but I ended up taking naps, and that probably wasn't good for me, but
God, I love naps though.
Naps, the nap was great, and I felt great the rest of the day. But it's a waste of a couple hours of the day. But if you could just somehow not do it, then you're gonna find a way to grind through it.
I've had a combined 6 hours of sleep in the last 3 days.
Okay,
so
that's not very much.
Shout out to Red Bull. You're keeping me alive, baby.
You're getting 2 hours of sleep a night?
Listen, man, I got a 13-month-old. I counted up the hours. I'm going to be doing 39 hours of radio this week.
Nice.
I've worked a day job.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, if I didn't have stuff I actually had to do, the thought of calling in today to my day job, not this, was very high on the docket. But
yeah, I imagine it would have been. Okay, good. Yeah, we got you got 2.5 more days.
Yeah, and I'm going to be on a month hiatus next week when my kid's born. So
okay,
I'm just getting it all out of my system.
You're just trying to grind through one more week. Well, shout out to you then. That's a hell of a deal. You don't show it that much. You don't seem that tired.
Gary, you're welcome. It's because I don't have any hair, so you don't see there's no expression to be. It's like reverse Botox, basically. So, what do you got on the docket for the show today?
We got a bunch of stuff coming up. We have the Tweetbag as we usually do on Wednesdays.
It's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. Good news for you, or I think sounds like it's moving along relatively quick. We'll have the Iowa Western coach on, Scott Strohmeier,
my guy. Is that why you're showing school pride?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I'm dressed appropriately. As I've been told.
There's no way that's not just the first clean shirt you had, right?
It's actually a shirt I obtained last night.
Oh, so. Okay, I got you. The reason I'm wearing this shirt is because it was the first shirt I grabbed.
Right on top.
Josh is usually pretty well on theme.
I'm topical.
Right? Yeah, topical.
I'm relevant.
There it is.
Well, topical, yes. No, I'm just kidding.
Mitch Sherman from practice, Jake Eisenberg from the Storm Chasers, talking some baseball. They got some new exciting guys on their roster too, with all the baby Royals moving up. So yeah, that's the show.
Yeah, I mean, I really like your guys' roster.
Well, I'll like it in 2 years.
Yeah, that's what I mean. For longevity, obviously they got to keep those guys in house and stuff like that too. But
7
easier said than done.
I mean, they're playing 7 rookies in the lineup every day, which is pretty insane.
Is Vinny best name in baseball?
Ooh, I mean, it's really fun to say. Vinny Pasquantino.
Yeah. If he doesn't open up a pizza joint after he gets done with baseball, I'm going to be very disappointed.
There's been some dispute on his nickname. Is he the Italian breakfast? Is the Italian nightmare? I like Italian nightmare
I was
better.
Say, I think I'd be going with that over the Italian breakfast.
I can't remember. They told the story on the broadcast a couple weeks ago about why he is called how he got the nickname the Italian nightmare, but I can't remember it. So
I think with the Hispanic Titanic this year, I think the
Hispanic Titanic,
the nickname bar has been raised.
Yeah, nicknames are back.
Yeah, the poll question: are nicknames back?
I was surprised that I was surprised that we allowed Hispanic Titanic in this day and age. You know,
I mean, I think the fact that he embraced it probably helped a whole lot.
Well, I mean, yeah. Obviously,
yeah. I don't think a bunch of white guys screaming Hispanic Titanic at somebody's probably.
But that's what ends up happening.
Right. Yeah. But it helps if the guy who's given the nickname takes it and runs with it.
Sure.
I mean, almost any nickname can be insulting. Though.
Yes, you would have to be quite accepting of it. But yes, there were some people at the World Series who was like, that's really what they call him?
Yeah, there was so obviously, you were down on the field, and when Robbie and I would do the shows, we'd go down to the park, watch the game. We were sitting in the press area, and I'm not gonna say who it was, but 2 very well notable people walked by and we just want to make sure that this is the actual nickname.
You don't want to out any local media folks?
No, I'm good on all that.
Oh man,
it was like listening to them from afar, double checking with people was probably the highlight of my entire College World Series.
Who could that have been?
I'll tell you off air.
I don't think it's that. I mean,
it's not, but just in case they're not okay. I'm not a big throw you under the bus guy, but you're a big spreadsheet person.
Sure am. Yes.
I asked you a list yesterday of people you would fight.
Yeah, I don't have I'm a pretty chill guy. Like I don't want to fight anybody.
Right. So I'm gonna ask you a more chill question. So I have my list. Do you have a list of people that you want to interview before you're done in radio? Is there like a list of people you're like, if I can get these 5 people, it would just be
no.
You know, Mount Rushmore.
At least I hadn't really thought about it that way.
Do you have one? Can you give me one person who like I would love to interview this person by the time I'm done?
I would love
other than Josh Johnson.
I mean, basically the type of person that I like talking to the most are the people who, sort of go along with the joke, right. maybe they are a famous athlete or something like that. I've been seeing a lot of clips of Aaron Rodgers on Pardon My Take over the last couple days. Did you guys see any of that stuff?
Yes.
I mean, and basically the, Big Cat, his whole bit is like, I hate you. I hate Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
And he just told him that constantly throughout the interview.
And he ran with it.
And he sort of ran with it. Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers, it looked like he was sort of uncomfortable, but like, so basically the person who in that situation would be like, this is funny. That's who I want to talk to. And you don't know who they are unless you talk to them. So you sort of have to just talk to everybody. And that's part of that. That's, some of what we do on the show.
That's probably a little bit easier for an Aaron Rodgers as opposed to maybe like a Justin Fields. You know what I mean? Somebody that's been walking into stadiums for 18 years of hearing I hate you every Sunday versus a guy that's maybe a little bit newer to that equation.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you got to have
winning helps.
You got to have a certain level of confidence. That's for sure. But I appreciate the guys who don't take it too seriously. That's kind of where I go with it.
Do you have a favorite interview you've ever done? Other than these historic crossovers,
I don't know. Days. They always ask it like when you put in stuff for like awards and stuff like that, and they're like, "Well, did you guys do anything this year?" And I'm like, "Did we do anything?" Like I don't know. We did a lot of shows. I can't think of a particular one or two that necessarily stood out over time, but we always end up submitting like the dumbest stuff that we do.
Well, of course, that's the best.
And it's not to make a joke out of the award. It's not about that. It is just that's what I think is fun and good radio.
Well, if you're looking for stats, you can just try this thing called Google. People tune in to listen to us to hear our personality.
And people are better at doing, in-depth, heart-to-heart conversations and stuff like that, getting really emotional, and certainly will go down that path when it needs to happen. But my wheelhouse is a little bit more of the let's have some fun.
Which, I mean, if you do that at your job, you're probably winning at life.
Yeah, that's the goal, right?
You said you had a very eventful weekend. Do you have any trips planned coming up during football season?
So that was it, basically. I'll probably got one more time that I'll play golf. You guys play golf?
All the time.
Very poorly. Good. I might be the first person in history to hit a golf ball and end up behind me. I hit a tree.
What's really poorly?
I play 2-man scrambles and play best ball, so I don't have to keep track.
So you don't even actually know how good you are.
I mean, from probably way too much putt in my life. I've got a decent short game. The problem is I kind of have to swing.
Putt does not count.
Yeah, you have to learn how to read the green.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, hey, listen, I could get it pretty close to the cup we're in from about.
And putt.
Well, no, I mean, from when I've been playing, like if I think I hit like I got the longest or the second longest putt at the Corn Belt golf invite thing last year for the charity event. So, I mean, I don't know. My short games are
scramble putting champion.
What he means is he had the second one listed. We don't know how many people came in.
Dude,
between.
I was this close to winning a grill. All right, and that's all that matters.
So somebody came out afterwards and wrote the name on the pin prize.
I probably cheated. I didn't think about that. See,
it happens all the time in scrambles.
I'm on the honor system. I mean,
that's what golf's
it was
supposed
there.
to be.
I made the putt. I wrote my name on the thing, put it where it was.
I had a pretty good scramble a couple of weeks ago. I cleaned house. I won brand new TV in a raffle, won the long drive, and we finished third. So I cashed in $300.
Beautiful.
You like how he didn't say a word until it came time to put himself over here? Hey, let me say how great I am at golf, though.
No, I'm terrible at golf. I shot a 120 on Sunday.
But it doesn't matter. You can have scramble teammates, and you can have one ringer on the team, and then all of a sudden you're good. I played in a scramble this weekend, and we got so the exact opposite of what you just said. That was it.
That's how the majority of them go.
We got cleaned out on everything. We went on raffles and 50-50s. And
was it because you guys were having too much fun though? Because I feel like that equates sometimes.
A little bit. I mean, we were trying. We left a couple. Like you can't miss. You can't take pars when you have birdie opportunities in a scramble, and we did that like probably 3 or 4 times. And then the vibes,
you waste all the mulligans.
Exactly. The vibes got really bad. There was also this thing called, I don't know if this is a thing in more scrambles than the one that we just played in, but they put out a camo golf ball. So you buy a camo golf ball at the beginning of the round, and if you bring it back, you're entered in to win another drawing or something like that.
Sure.
But it's going to be really hard to find, and you have to hit it once per each. Each guy has to hit it 4 times. A couple guys have to hit it 6, or another time 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to bring it back at the end of the round. But the thing about the camo ball was that it was literally, and I asked, it was a putt-putt ball, so you couldn't actually hit it. So basically, it turned into a 3-man scramble. And that sort of threw us all off. I'm going to use that as our excuse.
And trying to find this thing throughout the day.
Well, you have to find it, but the challenge of hitting it, like you're going to have a worse shot with it because it's a crappy ball, right? Yeah. So it basically sort of turned it into a 3-man.
Now, do you think that was done intentionally, or do you think the person that bought it had no idea there was a difference between actual golf balls and putt-putts?
I asked afterwards. I think it was a little bit more of the latter there, but
that's kind of what I
have you ever played in one where they hand out the exploding balls?
No, but I've seen videos.
So I'm playing one on October 1st. Every guy gets a sleeve of balls, but one team is almost guaranteed a ball that explodes.
And then do you win something if you get it, or
no? I think you lose a stroke.
You take a
as
shot.
A team.
Yeah.
So I didn't. So
I just play with my own balls that I bring.
I know this may come as a complete surprise to you, but I didn't play a whole lot of golf. But I didn't know exploding golf balls were a thing, and I was like, I'm very competitive, so I was getting very frustrated the very first time I ever went golfing. And
it's hard.
It's not ballet, folks. The one time that I felt like I got my shoulders around perfectly, like for the first time, my buddy gave me an exploding golf ball. I didn't know it was the thing, and like in my mind,
Tough.
I'm like, this is it.
Tough.
I'm about to just whack the crap out of this thing, and it just exploded. And of course, they're dying. They think it's hysterical.
If only they wouldn't have had the exploding golf ball, Jimmy would have.
I would have shanked this one less than the first 11.
No, you would have aced the par 4 like Billy Matt, Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, there you go.
So speaking of exploding stuff, did you guys see the guy? This has maybe happened a couple times now. The gender reveal. And it's like the woman did a soft toss to the guy, and he took it.
He
didn't swing.
He
and then
to his 8th grade coach. You always take the first pitch.
And the thing hit the ground, and it blew up, and it was a boy, and everyone was like, "Oh, I guess it's a boy." He took the pitch though.
I mean, what's worse, that or Kirk Cousins almost missing the target throwing the football? For
that one was pretty tough on him.
Like, you're pro, man. Whoever his agent is, give me a call.
He got roasted.
I could use your service.
There was like a TikTok thing going around last year where he would, one side of it was him throwing a football, and the other side, like, you could duet or whatever on TikTok, and the people just have videos of footballs flying over their heads.
Yeah,
tough look for Kirk.
Spot on though. I mean, it's not exactly wrong.
The shoe fits.
Yeah,
the shoe fits.
There's also the one where the guy's throwing the baseball, or somebody's throwing the baseball to him, and he keeps missing, and then he throws it to himself and misses. Then his wife walks out and just grabs the ball and hits it on the first try. So I mean, I don't know if I'd rather take the pitch or be that guy.
If you're gonna try and show off your quote unquote athletic prowess, you better get it right.
Yeah,
you better get it right,
because now you're a legend for all the wrong.
You ever
reasons.
thrown a first pitch before?
I have at Rosenblatt and at TD Ameritrade.
Did you?
I got it over the plate every time.
All right, good.
I got a little crap for the one at Rosenblatt though, because I was super nervous. The first one I did,
sure,
and I think I was like 19. Very off speed. Wasn't exactly bringing the hit because I didn't want to be that guy.
Sure.
I would settle to be the guy that the Red Sox guy that threw out the first pitch that nailed the cameraman.
Oh yeah,
I was gonna say who was
best. I think it was just somebody.
Well, wasn't there a rapper who just threw one towards the first base dugout too?
That was
50 Cent.
That was
50
Fitty.
Cent.
That was Fitty. Yeah,
and it was
tough look for Fitty. I don't think he's gotten over that one.
Curtis these days. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Did you ever see Martha Stewart? She actually was. I think she threw one out for the Dodgers, and she put it right on the money. I was very surprised.
Nice. Shout out Martha Stewart.
Yeah, somebody you would not. It's like I think you would assume somebody that's as big as 50 Cent is would probably be able to get there. Nah, it doesn't usually.
Baseball's a really highly specialized deal. Same thing with golf. Like
apparently, Martha Stewart can do it.
You can't just be an athlete and play baseball or do the things that make you be good at baseball and golf.
Let me ask you something.
Have to do it a lot
because this guy brought. I think Ryan Russillo brought this up one day. If Clayton Kershaw in his prime threw you 100 pitches, do you think you could hit one?
Yeah.
See, because I think there was like several people that said no to that. I was like, what?
Now, are they?
I mean, I could foul tip.
No,
several.
Now, are they all fastballs?
Yeah,
down the middle.
If he's just bringing you the heat the whole time.
Yes.
See, that's what I thought. I was like, I feel like at minimum, I think I could get one. I mean, get lucky and get one.
Because by 100, he's losing velocity anyways.
Okay, right. Let's say it's a video game and he can throw 100 every time.
Still, I mean,
I think I can get one.
But if he's trying to get me out and he's mixing speeds and locations and stuff like that, like I don't think I have a chance, even after 100 pitches. Maybe I run into one.
That's what I'm saying. I think you can accidentally get one. I mean, but
if he's
you're not getting five.
I mean, it's probably going to take 15 to 20 pitches to figure out and realize that the ball is actually rising when it gets to you. Like it's,
Oh, that's what 105 looks like.
Yeah,
gosh,
exactly. That was when you face fastballs over like 90 miles an hour, it looks like they're sort of going.
They're coming up. Yeah. That's what a pro looks like, folks.
That's an adjustment. That's really difficult, but I think you get there.
Well, buddy, have a great show.
All right.
We appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
All right, fellas. Good work today, and that is the crossover. We'll come back. Mitch Sherman will join here in just a few minutes, fresh off of Nebraska practice this morning. And we'll come back more up next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on the crossover.
When you have the tin of popcorn, and it has the 4, the cheese, the white, the caramel. You're bougie. You went 4. It's 3. Or is it 3? Okay. Yeah. But there's always one that's about 75% gone before any of the others are touched. Which one is it?
Caramel.
Cheese. And caramel.
Oh, no. All 3 are garbage.
Whoa! Popcorn's out.
Sharp and Benning in the morning. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Plenty of sunshine Wednesday and hotter with a high this afternoon in Omaha near 94 degrees. Winds out of the southeast stay light. Tonight, mostly clear and mild. Overnight lows into the mid-60s. We'll keep temperatures in the mid-90s as we head throughout the rest of the work week before reaching the triple digits potentially for your weekend. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
Summer is here, and so is the heat. Our greenhouse and nursery sales area are always open and stocked all season long. You can relax knowing when you want it, we've got it. So visit us today. Lanahan Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. If you have played golf this summer and you haven't been that happy with your game, Mike Faber, their director of instruction, he can help you out. Give Miracle Hill Golf a call today at 402-498-0220. Book lessons or book a round of golf, whether it's a quick 9 after work, a full 18 on the weekend, the Top Tracer building, you can get your golf game right. 402-498-0220, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
When you need a new roof, especially if you have storm damage, the last thing you want to hear from a roofing company is that it's going to be weeks or even months before they can get to it because of supply issues. This is Garen Armstrong with Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Supply issues are no issue at Shamrock. As one of the largest roofing companies in America, we stocked up early and we stocked up big. That means our warehouse has everything we need to do your job now. And because we stocked up before the supply crunch, we paid a lot less than anyone looking for roofing supplies now and can share those savings with you. No one in Omaha can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Let our local family serve your family. Shamrock Roofing and Construction, 402-281-1780. That's 402-281-1780. Or online at shamrockroofer.com.
Since this is a radio commercial, you can't see the people standing behind me. They're the Langfeld family. Everybody wave. Oh, sorry, you can't see them because radio. Anyway, the Langfelds are the family behind Langfeld Overhead Door, where they proudly install Midland garage doors to fit any space and style, and they don't take a backseat to anyone when it comes to their service. Because if something goes wrong, it's their name on the line. So they're going to make sure it goes right every single time. Langfeld Overhead Door, 402-234-2700.
Kirsten Bernthal Booth here with Creighton Volleyball. The 2022 season has arrived, which means we are under a month away from packing the CHI Health Center with the nation's best volleyball fans as Creighton and Nebraska face off. Whether you're a Blue Jay or a Husker, you don't want to miss out on championship-level competition on the state's biggest stage. First serve is set for 5 p.m. on Wednesday, September 7th. Get your tickets now at gocreighton.com/buy.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
I know I need to pay attention to my health, but I just can't seem to find the time. Between rushing to work and taking care of the kids, there's not much time left over for me. So I decided to start small by eating more fruits and vegetables and being more active. And then I got the family to make some changes too. We started by keeping a bowl of fresh fruit on the counter, and I limit the amount of sweet snacks I keep in the house. I've also found some creative ways to add more vegetables to our meals. We're taking more walks, and on the weekends, we head down to the pool at the rec center. It doesn't happen every day, but it does happen. You don't have to change your entire life to be healthier. Just make some simple changes and include your family. You'll see how easy and fun it can be.
You can make a difference. Eat smart, play hard. And when you do, your kids will too. A challenge from USDA.
I've been driving trucks for a long time. Safety is my number one priority. I know that my truck has huge blind spots. That's why I remember to check my mirrors often for smaller vehicles. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're behind the wheel, try to avoid lingering in those blind spots. It can be dangerous. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Suck it up.
It's not a big deal.
Snap out.
Just get over it.
We've all heard it. But if you're experiencing extreme stress, it's not just in your head. It can affect your entire body because toxic stress can hurt us physically without us even knowing it. If you've lost a job, worry about your next meal, or have trouble making it through the day, if you're feeling the effects of stress, we can help. Text STRESS to 211-211 to find a solution.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees.
All right, welcome back and welcome in. It is the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Let's jump right into some Husker football chatter with our friend Mitch Sherman from The Athletic, who is, I assume, live from Memorial Stadium somewhere. Hello, Mitch.
Morning, Connor. I am live from the UNL City campus, making my way back to Memorial Stadium. I went and found a work spot after watching the opening minutes of practice this morning inside Memorial Stadium. So
lovely.
That was awesome to get inside the old stadium. And I know Nebraska has not worked a lot inside the stadium this month, but today was an exception, and it kind of felt like a game out there, like the beginning, like the pregame warm up of the game. So good stuff.
Oh, we need your takes from the 45 minutes of the open period. I saw a lot of pictures of Devin Drew going out. And we saw an accidental GIF tweeted by you, which was great. What else did we see?
I did that on purpose. Twitter wanted me to do it. When I took the video inside the app, it prompted me to post it as a GIF, which I did. And if you have a phone that was constructed before 2006, I guess you can't see it, which somebody in my mention brought up to me. But I don't know the year. But basically, you get my you get my drift there with the technology. It was you got to embrace the technology. It was Jaquez Yant going through a drill, so I liked it because it goes like backwards and forwards, which I didn't know was going to happen when I tweeted it. So I'm going to start doing that more. I watch the running backs a lot, as you could tell from my content on social media. I walked in, and Scott Frost was working with the quarterbacks on some read option pitches, which I haven't seen or didn't see in the previous availability and haven't heard much about as part of this Nebraska offense. And it may not have been a piece that we're going to see in the fall much, but it's not totally gone from the playbook. We know that at least. And that's the one time that Frost has been involved with the quarterbacks in the hour or so that I've watched practice, or we've been able to watch practice this month. So he maybe he just needed to stretch his legs and show those guys something, because they quickly moved on to more traditional pro style sets. And then it was interesting because it was 11 on 11 to watch the combination of quarterbacks and running backs. A lot of Gabe Ervin and Anthony Grant with the top team led by Casey Thompson. So I think those two guys at the running back spot have emerged. Last year didn't mean much, because last year we had three guys who emerged, and it was at this time last year, Stavion Morrison, no longer with the team, Marquise Stepp, no longer with the team, and Ervin, who was hurt a month into the season. So Gabe Ervin is back from the knee injury. He is definitely in the mix with that top group, along with Jaquez Yant. Then along with Anthony Grant. And then I saw Jaquez Yant and Ramir Johnson. I think those guys are going to work more situationally. Johnson definitely getting some work with the receivers. They're going to use him as a jack of all trades. I think he's going to have a huge role in this offense, but not necessarily as starting running back in the way that he ended last season. And then Yant, is a power guy, obviously, and I don't see him necessarily being a 4-down back or a 3-down back, but he's going to have a role in this offense too.
And Mitch, so I saw your tweet about the read option stuff and the pitch, the pitch stuff that they were doing. And I was going to grab it and, do the Brian Windhorst, what's going on here? What is this? Because like you said, I mean, we've been talking about mostly like, West Coast under center, turn around and hand the ball off stuff. And that's what Whipple's been certainly over the last couple of years. This is more of an illustration of the mixture of the two offenses. Are we like are we reading into this, or are we like, do you think this will be used as more of a curveball, or I guess how are we reading into that this morning?
Well, it became a big staple in Nebraska's offense last year. And I don't think that's the intent in 2022. One, they want to keep the quarterbacks healthy, and running option is a good way to get your quarterbacks hit. And, they do have depth at this point at the QB position, but health is of the utmost importance.
Yep.
And, I don't think the option fits into what Mark Whipple wants to do offensively. But for a change of pace, sure. You can throw it out there for a play or two. Really, the option, I've always thought, is not something that you dabble in.
You got to do it. Yeah.
A staple of your offense, like we saw Nebraska transition to a year ago with Adrian Martinez, or you don't have it at all. But it appears from 6 reps or 8 reps that occurred at the beginning of practice this morning that they haven't entirely forgotten it.
Yeah. Mitch Sherman of The Athletic is with us. Hey, you wrote about, just sort of brands and TV numbers and all those sort of relating over the last couple of days here with the Big Ten's new TV deal coming out shortly. My question based off it is this. What do you think this all means? And it's clearly laid out who does well on TV. And obviously the fact, when Ohio State plays anybody, Ohio State games are going to rate really highly. And then you go down the line with Michigan and Penn State and Michigan State and Wisconsin. Nebraska is sort of, in the middle, I would say the middle class of that, upper middle class maybe. What do you think this all means for what the conference schedules might look like going forward? I mean, there's going to be with CBS and NBC sort of entering the fray. They're going to want big time games as well. There's now, there's going to be 16 teams in the Big Ten after a couple of years here. I would imagine that they got some guarantees on some big time TV viewership games that they're going to get. What do you think that means for a program like Nebraska, who sits in a really interesting spot right now because of their brand sort of, I don't know, I would call it like dormancy almost. And if you start winning some games, that can hike up pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, Connor. I think the Big Ten wants to be in a place where, however the schedule comes out, there is attractiveness with the games for the networks because of the brands that are featured. And USC and UCLA absolutely contribute to that puzzle coming into place. You put those two on TV and they're going to get numbers no matter who they play, much like what you see today with Ohio State, Michigan, and on down the line. Penn State to a lesser degree, Wisconsin to a lesser degree, and then Nebraska to a lesser degree than those top two. USC and UCLA fit in there somewhere. And when you start talking about 6 schools, 7, maybe 8 in a good year when Michigan State's on an upswing, or when Iowa is winning 10 games in a season, and Iowa draws numbers too. Iowa was right below Nebraska in the average TV viewership over the last 7 seasons. Nebraska averaged about 2.5 million per game for those that were on the networks, and Iowa was at 2.2. And then by comparison, Ohio State is up at almost 6 million, so in the stratosphere. But I think UCLA and USC are gonna figure right into that mix, and they're going to draw a different type of audience. Obviously, the same people, the people who watch Ohio State and Michigan every week, are not the ones who are watching USC and UCLA. So a more diverse geographical mix, and all of that, I think, will play into the schedule in a way that allows the Big Ten to really do whatever it wants. It doesn't have to worry so much about creating attractive matchups because they're going to be there naturally.
Yeah. I mean, there is enough, that's for sure. I think when the news came out yesterday or the day before, it was sort of like, CBS and NBC are going to be paying for these games that are going to end up being, Minnesota and Purdue or something like that. And the answer to that is really no. Like, you're going to get one of those marquee teams, and likely against another marquee team, pretty much week in and week out. That's the benefit of having a 16-team league.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, those games that are featured, and if there's 3 a week, if you have one on Fox and then one on NBC and one on CBS, you're going to have enough inventory with the big name programs that you don't have to get down to Indiana, Maryland as a game of the week. That's not really the case anywhere in college football outside of the Big Ten and the SEC. So just another reason, another way that those two leagues continue to elevate themselves onto a different stage in comparison to everyone else, even in the Power Five.
How weird will it be to not have Nebraska football at all? I mean, they've sort of been weaned off it over the last couple of years, but no Nebraska football and no Big Ten football on ABC or ESPN here in a couple of years.
Right. You may still see an appearance in the non-conference.
Yeah, right.
When one of those teams goes to play in the stadium of an SEC opponent. I mean, you got like Penn State going to Auburn in a series that's ongoing right now. That game from Auburn, Alabama could obviously show up on ESPN or ABC, but it will be extremely strange. The Big Ten has been such a huge part of ESPN's footprint in college football, and ESPN defines television coverage for the whole sport, in college football and college basketball over the last 4 decades. So to take that away is going to take some adjustment, but I don't think it's the Big Ten and its member schools would not choose to go down this road if they didn't see advantages in what they were doing, and primarily with the money, but it's also not going to hurt their exposure to go to NBC and CBS.
Yeah. Mitch, 2 weeks until you're off to Ireland?
Yeah, 2 weeks from last night.
Woo!
Be getting on a on a long flight. So in 2 weeks from now, I should be jet lagged and walking the streets of Dublin looking for something to write about related to Nebraska or Northwestern.
Amazing. We look forward to the coverage, and we'll chat next week before you get all ready to go. We're excited. Just a couple weeks away from game time. Mitch, thanks for the time as always. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I've got my international phone plan ready to go too, so I'll talk to you from Ireland.
Nice. From the streets of Ireland, we'll have Mitch Sherman.
A pub.
Yeah, from a pub. All right, see you, Mitch.
Take care.
That is Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. That's great. It's great news. Actually, that was the first time I've thought about that. Are we going to be able to talk to our guests the week of? As long as they're ready, they're prepared to do radio interviews at like 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock and, later in some cases.
Yeah, early evening.
Right? Some early evening radio hits while walking the streets of Dublin, popping in and out of pubs, stuff like that. Could be fun.
Put the phone up to Bono's ear. Let's talk to Bono.
Could be fun. Could be a big moment for us.
I could.
Media member, 6 Guinnesses in, drops by and has takes on who Nebraska's starting running back will be in 2 days.
They just gotta run it up the middle, board.
I wonder how much. It doesn't seem like there will be too much Nebraska media availability opportunities that week as the team is in Ireland and getting prepared and ready for the game. It doesn't feel like there's going to be too much of that, and they're to keep it locked down pretty well. Usually, and maybe this is where the comparisons to a bowl game should sort of stop, and it's only the same because it's in a different location and in a unique location. But usually, everybody will go down a week or so before, and you'll have, it'll be sort of, and not all of the media is going, so there is sort of this ability to get better access to the team, and it's a little bit more laid back as far as their media operation and their media setup, the week before the game, and especially, the week before a bowl game, and in this case, the week before the Ireland game. So I don't know. We'll see how all of that stuff is handled. I once again say, going back to something that Pat Fitzgerald said at Media Days, they feel like they can handle this part of it really, really well. Nebraska, like I said, I don't know. I don't know how big of a deal this is as it pertains to the actual football game, but the week is important too, and how you prepare yourself is important too. And if you're having to sort of play catch up or answer questions that wouldn't normally be answered have to be answered and addressed on a normal game week about, where to go, what to do, and who to talk to, and how much, those are things that Northwestern feels like they have under control. And I think for Nebraska, it's a little bit more of a play it by ear thing. They haven't been to a bowl game. People forget that, Josh. Haven't been to a bowl game in a couple of years.
As far as the media contingency, if I can pull the curtain back a little bit, media companies aren't sending their employees overseas.
Well, Nebraska's going to have some.
Well, there's going to be some, but we're not going.
Oh, you're talking about us?
Yeah.
No, we will not. We will not be going to Ireland. I won't be going to Ireland. I don't know. Maybe somebody books a last minute flight.
Easy to hop on a flight, go to Florida, or hop in a van, and you guys get to Florida, right, and we'll put you up there, and it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
This is Ireland.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. It takes a little bit of planning, that's for sure. All right, we got more Little League baseball on today. Do we owe an apology from yesterday?
No.
The most viral moment in so far in our Little League baseball coverage.
It was on the news, not like Sports Center. It was on the news.
The news. And people are like, "Wow, my faith in humanity is restored."
Look at the youth of America. If we just follow their lead, we'll be a happier, more peaceful country.
And here we were in the studio yesterday, just sort of laughing hysterically at it.
Manufactured moment. You zig, we zag.
Was it our best moment? I don't know. We can't take it back. That's how we felt at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have had the advantage of seeing everybody else's reaction to it afterwards. We did something that nobody else was that everybody else was afraid to do yesterday. That was make fun of a very cute viral moment. All right.
Between children. We made fun of children.
This is the Midwest regional.
This is Davenport, Iowa.
Wow, come on.
Up 1-0 in the third.
Where is the Nebraska representation this year?
They went 0-2.
What?
In the regional.
Which city was it? Which town?
I believe it was Kearney.
Kearney.
Let us down.
It's disappointing.
That's another thing people won't come on the radio and say.
Nebraska. Kearney Little League out of Kearney, Nebraska.
Lost 9-0 to Wisconsin on the 5th, and then 7. They didn't even score a run.
Oh my God!
Shameful.
These games were all on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, literally every game of the regionals has been on ESPN Plus. They've been working Matt Schick to the bone.
That isn't. Did they do squeeze play for Little League World Series regionals?
Quad box,
folks. We got a quad box. Let's go live to Davenport. All right. Thanks to Mitch for joining. We have plenty to come on the show today. One guest down. Coming up here in just about 15 minutes, we will talk to Iowa Western football coach Scott Strohmeier as they get ready to go for their season after reaching the national championship game last year. As always, there's a lot of turnover in junior college football. We'll touch on sort of the difficulties of that. Iowa Western going to be as strong as ever, as usual. And it's the Tweetbag today. At noon, get in your tweets, your thoughts, your hypotheticals, questions, anything like that. Jake Eisenberg will join in the 1 o'clock hour. We'll just talk baseball with him. There was a couple games last night that felt like playoff baseball. One in particular that ended very, very late.
Very late.
The 13th inning in Seattle last night. The struggling Yankees stay on the struggle bus, losing 1-0. There was clutch double plays. There was a guy who snapped a bat over his knee.
Yeah. There wasn't a hit between the 8th and 13th innings.
Great pitching, Luis Castillo and Garrett Cole.
I didn't know it's possible for extra innings to go that long scoreless.
It felt very playoffy last night in Seattle. We're trending that direction. The lineup today is powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We will come back a couple more minutes here before we get to Coach Stroh next on 1620 The Zone.
You could win $5,000 to have the ultimate tailgate party on 1620 The Zone. Enter now at 1620thezone.com.
There are actually two kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a well-stocked humidor with some of the best bands from around the world and a bar with your favorite cocktails and other drinkables. So what do you say? Which cigar will you be enjoying tonight? Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's.
Hi, Bobby.
Hey, Sarah. The usual?
This is the last time I'm coming here for coffee.
I'm on a budget now. 1 sec. Cold brew for Blake?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sarah, don't give up what you love. State Farm has policy options to get you a surprisingly great rate.
Good. I need my iced oat milk latte with caramel and cinnamon on top.
Girl, me too. For surprisingly great rates, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Morning, Mama. How you feeling?
Great, and I'm ready for you today.
I'm checking in on you. Morning meditation?
Check.
Dressed and ready to work out?
Check.
Check your blood pressure yet?
And check.
Boom! Great job, Mom. And about those gold earrings?
No, ma'am.
Now more than ever, it's important that we protect our hearts and the hearts of those we love. Monitor your blood pressure daily and help each other stay motivated. Rally your squad to take the online pledge at releasethepressure.org. Brought to you by the Release the Pressure Coalition and the Ad Council.
All right, crew, let's get her dug.
Honey, want to give me a hand? I'm planting that tree, remember?
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number. alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project, so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. This includes natural gas and petroleum pipelines, electric, communication cables, and water and sewer lines. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hi, Connor Happer, Josh Outson back with you on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Streaming video there as well.
Will we dance today for a third day in a row? I don't know.
Is there an opportunity somewhere on the? I don't know. I mean, you could ask in the tweet bag to get us moved in that direction.
It's got to come up organically.
I did enjoy listening to the CBS theme song a whole bunch of times yesterday, though. That was great. It's great for all of us.
Just need a little mood booster. There you go.
Iowa Western football coach Scott Strohmeier will join us here in just a couple minutes. By the way, special shout out to the Godfather, Neil Nelkin, for getting inducted into the Nebraska Broadcasters Hall of Fame last night in front of everyone. So in radio, and especially when you've been doing it as long as Neil has, you just sort of know everybody because they've either passed through here or somewhere else, or you cross paths with them at some point. But basically, you've worked with everyone. You've worked with a lot of people. The amount of people that Neil Nelkin has crossed paths with in his time, there's a lot. There is a lot, that's for sure. So it was good to see him get his due last night. No word. I wasn't there. No word on how the speech went. I did see some pictures.
How did it take him half a century to get in? What's going on with the Nebraska Broadcasting Hall of Fame?
It's a fair question.
Has Neil made that many enemies in his life?
And Rick Alloway, who, if anybody around here or if any media people, broadcasting people are listening, you've likely crossed paths with him as the journalism school professor at the University of Nebraska Lincoln. That's another guy who is
school.
Yep, that's another guy who is crossed paths with a lot of people in his day. Overdue, I would say, for both. But congratulations to both who get their due last night.
I'd also like to thank Neil for not going on a Pete Rose-esque rant.
We don't know that for sure. We would have heard about it.
Yeah, I think it would have came up.
We would have heard about it.
Hear what Neil said last night?
Neil comes in occasionally and presses the buttons when you're gone.
Yes.
Josh, and that's always fun. We'll give a good take or two every once in a while.
I hear him gush about other shows in the building on other stations, and I secretly hope, okay, does he at some point talk about us?
We'll get there one day.
In a room with somebody, like, oh, those guys really nailed it today. I'm like,
we'll get
that's
there.
What I want.
We'll get there one day, theoretically.
Yeah, enough reps.
Did you watch Hard Knocks last night?
I did. I did. I watched it all.
This is going to be a very good Hard Knocks season.
I took notes.
You took notes?
I took notes.
What do your notes say?
Great question. I don't remember. It wasn't.
Is this like me watching movies?
The best. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Dan Campbell is a character, right? But I don't think he's an idiot. I think you like him if he's your coach, right?
No, I think that he's got a lot of the same qualities as PJ Fleck, just in a larger way.
They said the word grit a lot. Yep. I laugh whenever I hear the word grit nowadays.
A lot of grit. Look up on that wall. See that? Grit.
Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn did up downs.
Yep. A lot of them. I sort of got tired watching.
Yeah. I could watch Aiden Hutchinson do karaoke all day.
It's like, dude, Dan Campbell, you can stop doing up downs with the team whenever you want.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to care.
Nobody's going, well, if coach would do some of these up downs with us, we'd win more games.
And then he's going around telling everybody afterwards that he messed up his wrist because he fell at his house and he had to have his wrist taped up doing up downs. He still went through the entire thing. He's exhausted afterwards. The guy is freaking huge, by the way.
Yeah.
He's massive. And then, that pretty much cut straight to Aiden Hutchinson doing karaoke and the whole Aiden Hutchinson story.
Really embarrassing at the beginning, but by the end, he had everybody going with him. He had the room in the end.
He did.
So many famous former players on the coaching staff in Detroit.
Yeah.
And then they actually went into that. So that's not an observation that I made. Campbell's going to get a lot of flack for the speech where he broke down, but I liked what he was saying in that speech about needing to go live on day one. Also hilarious that he himself reiterates, "I'm not a lunatic."
Yeah, that's right. That was part of the really good speech. He was, it was well done. He was like, "Hey, look, I'm getting some weird looks from you guys because we're going live on day one, and I know everyone thinks I'm crazy and a psychopath, but trust me, you have to trust me. We're not going to go full gas all the way through camp. Trust me." And then that's right when it leads into Jamal Williams doing his little emotional breakdown.
It was about a record last year.
Yeah.
Deuce Staley versus Aaron Glenn is, and then I wrote in all caps, entertainment.
Yeah.
And then my final note, we talked to an undrafted rookie guard and not the starting quarterback.
You think we'll hear from Jared Goff very much on this?
I don't think you'll hear from him very much because I think he's boring and I think everyone knows he's not there for the long haul.
I don't think he will be really much of a character in this season.
He is the starting quarterback of an NFL team. We should probably introduce him as a character, quote unquote, on the show as he's playing a pivotal role.
I'll just be really curious to see it because this usually happens after a couple episodes of Hard Knocks. Will the reaction be, okay, I actually kind of like this team secretly, or this seems like a little bit more of a disaster than it should be?
Today, don't you feel just a little bit better about them than the Bears?
No, I'm Team Lions.
Than the Bears?
Yeah. I'm Team Lions. I was kind of in on the Lions before this year anyway. I sort of like them. What's their win total at right now?
They won 3 last year with the 1 tie.
Yeah.
People forget.
People do forget.
They got to be 4.5.
You think it's that low? Win totals. The Detroit Lions 6.5.
6.5. Wow.
6.5.
Every game of theirs Sunday at noon, except for Thanksgiving.
And it appears as if more people are betting the over than anything.
Really?
Oh, by the way, speaking of win totals, have you guys seen Nebraska's lately?
Has it jumped?
The number has not. The number has not moved.
The juice has moved?
But the juice has moved.
Would you say that it's on the loose?
Sure.
Okay. Thanks for humoring me.
The over is down to minus, and maybe it moved back because when I checked it a few days ago, maybe it was a little bit different than this. The over is minus 120. The under is plus 100. So you can get plus money or 1-to-1 money on the under. 7.5 wins for Nebraska still.
Does Devin Drew change your win total in any way?
He's here.
He has arrived.
He's here. He sort of worked out today at practice. Speaking of Devin Drew, He's a former Iowa Western football player. Josh knows this very well.
He is. I saw it with my own eyes.
And the Iowa Western football coach, Scott Strohmeier, will join the show next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Businesses all across eastern Nebraska and western Iowa have trusted Host Coffee for their coffee, water, and vending needs. Give your business the whole host of options. Host Coffee, serving you since 72.
Before you know it, Husker football season is going to be here, and you want to be in Memorial Stadium or following the Big Red on the road. And while you look for tickets, look no further than ticketsforless.com. Formerly Ticket Express, they are your home for the best selection of Husker tickets inside of Memorial Stadium. And the best part, you'll never pay those outrageous fees like you do at other sites. Just compare. And you want to follow the Big Red on the road? Tickets for Less has you covered there too. Find the best seats at the best prices to all your favorite Nebraska events, all in one convenient location. Ticketsforless.com. That's ticketsforless.com. Get in the stadium.
Summer is here, and if you have a gotta get it done this year project, trust the official exterior experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction. Call them for a free estimate on roofing, siding, windows, or even solar. They're close by with 3 locations in Nebraska, including Lincoln, Grand Island, and Omaha. Need financing? J-Tech offers 0% interest for 60 months. Call 402-261-3682 or go online to yourexteriorexperts.com. J-Tech Construction, Nebraska's exterior expert.
Imagine it's a scorcher and your home's AC just quit. Sometimes it's beyond repair and needs to be replaced. At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, our comfort specialists take the frustration out of the equation. Modern AC systems are more energy efficient, which is good news for your energy bill. Call 402-788-1234 or visit McCarthy's1hour.com.
Always on time, or you don't pay it time. Always on time, or you don't pay it time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Here are your 3 churro shakes. Enjoy your Sonic.
Churro. Let me try. Churro. You got like 800 horsepower of cinnamon, sugar, and caramel. You got to I feel like I'm singing it with 800 R's in it. Churro.
Enjoy the perfect summer treat with the all-new Sonic Churro Shake, sprinkled with sweet cinnamon sugar and swirled with creamy caramel into real vanilla ice cream. All topped off with a crispy, warm churro ready to be dipped and devoured. Try one half price when you order in the app for a limited time only at Sonic. Exclusions apply. See app for details. Limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
Cards issued by Celtic Bank, member FDIC. Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's credit cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 3.3% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. 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 Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
All right, welcome back. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson back with you on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. We will bring in our next guest now, the head coach, Iowa Western Football, Scott Strohmeier. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Does it feel like we are just a little over 2 weeks away already, or is it sort of sneaking up on you?
It's sneaking up on me for sure. You know, you think when you start camp, we got 26 days before our first game, but it goes by pretty fast. And here we are, trying to get prepared for that first one. But, we went 1.5 weeks, or this is a week and a half now. And it's the first time since 2019 that we've really had a true fall camp. Yeah. So it's been kind of different, kind of acclimation for the coaches as well.
So what's an off season look like for you and your staff? Obviously, there's a ton of turnover at the junior college level, and you're sort of at the mercy of what's there, and you might not know until late with guys sort of coming in, going out at any point in time. Like, obviously, it's got to be tough to sort of manage. What is a off season look like for you, and when does the off season stop really at any point, or is it sort of a blurred line?
It doesn't really stop. It is blurred. We go through our recruit. You're always recruiting, but a lot of times after signing day, 4-year schools can start working on their next class. Where we, up until we signed a kid in like a week before we reported. So you're always kind of recruiting. But the thing is you have to have a pretty good idea of which guys can leave. So the guys that have the opportunity, if an offer comes in. We lost a D lineman 3 days before we started fall camp. Now we knew he was a qualifier, and that if an opportunity came, he was going to be able to go. So you have to prepare for that a little bit and protect yourself, and sign some kids. And sometimes we end up with more, at a position that maybe we would like. But like I said, you can't go into it and thinking you got this guy back, and then he's already graduated and he gets an offer late. So it's challenging for sure. But that's where that's where our numbers come in, and we do have high numbers when we report to fall camp. And when I get some coaches that come in here from 4-year schools, they're like, well, how many of this position are we looking to sign? I'm like, there's no set number. I mean, let's sign the best players we can. Now at some point you got to get to it. When you sign a bunch of freshmen, you got to count on those kids, but it's hard to know what you're going to have returning each year.
This is one thing that I was really curious about. Like, how does that and the constant sort of, we're not exactly sure what we're going to have, and maybe you piled up at one position and you're a little thin at another. How does that factor into how you guys operate from a football perspective during the season and what you do? I'd imagine it's sort of super tailored to your strengths and weaknesses. Like, how much do you change year in and year out in what you guys do based on what you have?
Well, I think number one, you're always trying to recruit to what you want to do, and then the reality comes in of that we don't always, you got to get the best players you can, and they don't always fit. I always use quarterback as an example, and going into year 14 here and being at a junior college before this was 17 years of junior college coaching. Like, you have to be able to tailor. You have your base offensive philosophies, but you have to tailor what you're going to do that year based on who your trigger man is, I've had from just a true pocket guy to a dual threat guy, just a runner, and find the strengths of the players you have, and then you have to utilize them there.
Yeah.
And that's always a transition. Sometimes when you get new coaches, hey, this is what we run. We're going to do it. We've been successful at another place doing it this way. Well, those things change year to year. And, but you got to be able to adapt to what you got. And I think that's one thing that we've done a fairly decent job of, offensively and defensively, of finding our personnel, who's going to give us the best chance to win, and then what do they do best, and try to put them in position to be successful.
Yeah, no doubt. Iowa Western's Scott Strohmeier is our guest. How happy were you for a guy like Nate Glantz to get the opportunity that he did this year?
Well, really happy for him. I felt he came here, he did a spring season and a fall season, and that guy, I felt was kind of overlooked a little bit, and he had to prove himself, and he came in and did what he had to do. I think his best football is still ahead of him, just from a standpoint of how, like that COVID spring season, and then turn around and go fall season back to back. And not having a whole bunch of quarterback experience coming in, so that's why I think his best football is ahead. But the thing he's got at that position, he's so competitive. He believes in himself and his ability, and he wants the ball, and he wants it in crucial situations. So for him to get this opportunity to go up there and compete, I'm extremely happy for him.
Yeah. How do you see? I mean, and maybe Nate falls into this category, maybe he doesn't, but I mean, guys, when they come in, and I played a small amount of junior college baseball as well, so I felt like going in, like, hey, if you do a couple of years here and it goes pretty well, and we're out, and we're going to be on the Division I side, and it's everything's going to be great. It's not that easy for a variety of different reasons, as you know. How do you have those conversations with players, and if they feel like the recruitment's not coming along like they wanted to, or something's just not quite picking up with the next level of coaches, and staying patient and all of that stuff?
And that's probably one of the more challenging things, because majority of our guys do come here because they want to play at the highest level, and generally that's FCS to FBS football. And realistically, not everybody's going to be able to go. So my goal is always to get them the best opportunity where they can get their education paid for. And not always, that's not always at the Division I level. The transfer portal's affected junior college a little bit. Now I think it's going to get back to some type of normalcy here as they kind of navigate through the transfer portal the last couple of years. But junior college recruiting in that COVID season, when coaches couldn't come out, and then the next year when they were hitting that portal so hard, kind of affected a little bit. So some of our guys, like Jacob Ellis, he's a defense player of the year in NJCAA. He had one Power 5 offer, and it was Iowa State. And before that, he was going to commit to an FCS school. In years past, he would have had probably 15 offers. But a lot of schools, like I said, went to the portal first and got their guys that way. But, it is challenging. And I think some kids realize, too, once they get here, yeah, my goal is to play Power 5 football or Division I football. And then they get here and they see the level of competition that we're at. And they're like, okay, maybe after 2 years, I realize I'm not, a Division I football player, but I really want to play football and I want to get my education paid for. Or, hey, do you know what? After 2 years, this is tough. I want to also work on getting my degree and starting my, my life after, college. And so they're going to then look at the best option for them at the next level, if that's Division II, if that's NAI or whatever it may be. So a lot of times it plays itself out, but there's still every year we have 5 to 10 kids that, maybe they want to hang on to that dream of playing Division I, but some of them get the opportunity and some don't.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing, and you touched on it a little bit. Like sometimes it's just a numbers game. Like that's got to be a really difficult thing to sort of understand, and especially as much as big time college football has sort of changed now. You mentioned it with the transfer portal. Maybe a couple of years ago, those guys are in different spots, and they're sort of first on that list to get the offer later, or whatever. And now it's even more of a waiting game. Like explaining to players that side of it and the business side of it and the numbers side of it, that's got to be tricky too.
It is, and I think those are, early on when it first hit, and even in, like say Nate's situation, he was the NJCAA Offensive Player of the Year after the COVID season, and he's a qualifier, and there wasn't a lot out there, and part of it because coaches couldn't come and see him practice or come and see him play. And then the other part of it was, like I said, the portal and people being able to go into the portal first. And like I explained to my guys is, okay, I got a player, he's played, 10 junior college games, really high level, but then you got a guy who was recruited by the University of Alabama, and he's a backup, and he might not be that great, but the fact is that he was on scholarship at the University of Alabama or played special teams at Alabama. They're going to take a little bit more of a look at that kid before they will a junior college All-American, and that just is what it is. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I think there's some colleges out there now where I know some specifically that they want this. If there's a best time to recruit junior colleges for a mid-major or even a FBS school that maybe doesn't get all the 5 stars is right now, because a lot of those schools aren't maybe recruiting the junior colleges as hard, and they're going to come in where maybe a mid-major power or a Division I school could come in here. In the past, he wouldn't even be able to talk to this individual. Well, now he might be at the top of this individual's list. So we're getting some more of that in the FCS levels and things like that. But and some schools are like, I'm done chasing the transfer kids. Now it's all the transfer portal kids are all about NIL. How much you gonna, what's the best situation for me? this and that, where my guys are just looking for the best opportunity. I'm not dealing with how much are you going to give me in NIL money, at least now. At least right now I'm not. But, we're not dealing with that. So some coaches are like, you know what, let's go get the best college kid. And a lot of our kids have 3 years of eligibility left. Like Jacob Ellis has 3 years of eligibility. You couldn't find a high school kid that played at a high level in 2 junior college seasons and still has 3 seasons of eligibility left. And, so now you're getting a very high quality individual and a player that maybe you couldn't have got in the past.
Yeah. Coach, you go all the way to the national championship game last year, and it ended up losing to Anthony Grant and the New Mexico military institution. No, that was not the question. You got to let me finish here. What was that experience like? And then how do you carry some of that momentum over into this year?
Yeah, well, it was a great experience. Our guys after the spring season, they lost the first game, and we felt that we were as good as anybody in the country. And so a lot of those guys came back with a little chip on their shoulder. And then to win 10 straight and play in the title game. And we ran into a very, very hot, very good football team at New Mexico military. And, I wish we'd have played our a little bit better. You got to give credit to them. And, I knew Grant was good. We knew he was good, but I'll tell you what, he was better in person than he was on film. And like I said, that's not taking anything away from what I thought of him on film, but he was way even better than I thought he was when I watched him on film. We were nervous about him, and he lived up to everything we expected and more. But like I said, to get there, obviously you want to finish it. It's hard to get there. The last time we were in that was 14, so that's a long time in between. We've been really close numerous years, but so it's hard to get there. So you wish you would have finished it off. But, we have a lot of guys that were on the team, maybe didn't play a lot, but were on the team through that, knowing how close, how little room for error that you have, and what we're really stressing this season is, we go back for 18 games from the spring season to the fall season, and we never trailed. If we did get behind, we turned around and returned, the score to take the lead or tie the game, really in 2 seasons. And so it's hard as a team once you get down. Like, we never experienced that, and we got down early against them. We made some mistakes, and they took advantage of them. And we didn't really respond extremely well because we've never been in that situation, and you hate for that to happen in a national championship game. But so that's really what we're trying to really stress now is you don't have a lot of room for error, and let's try to take care of the little things. And if we do get in that position, we can't panic, and we just got to go about our business and try to inch our way back into it. But it was obviously good. Like I said, I think there was 80 some guys that are on this team that were on that, were part of it, either redshirted and, some of them played or traveled. So they know, and now we got to bring that to all the kids, the incoming kids that came here. They're coming here to compete for a national championship. So, they kind of have that in their mind. Now we need the older guys, or the returners, the experienced guys to kind of, guide them through, like, these are our expectations. And our expectations are to compete for it.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about the schedule here, because the last couple of years, you look, for those of you who don't know, or the listeners who don't know, Iowa Western's in the ICCAC, and there's only 3 teams in that conference, Iowa Western being one of them. So you're going to play those 2 every year. But previously there had been an agreement with the Jayhawk League, and there's some really competitive teams down there, and that had sort of gone away. So you guys were out on your own to try and pick up games over the last couple of years. That's back. I imagine that's a huge load off for you. What does that sort of mean for your program?
Oh my gosh, it's huge. One for the institution financially, I think it's a huge thing because traveling to Georgia, traveling to Utah for games, and Arkansas, and all over the place to play was tough. And then I never was a fan of playing each other twice. It's never been, I don't know. I just never really enjoyed doing that anyways. But so get back into the Jayhawk, which is a perennial, very good league. I think we got, I don't know if it was seven of our 10 are finished the preseason top 15.
Yeah.
So, week in and week out, and then we add, a non-conference game against Snow College, so there's really no weeks off. I kept a couple bye weeks, and I kept 2 of them instead of scheduling one more game, just because it is a physical grind week in and week out. And, and I like that too, so our guys have to come ready to play every single week. And if you take one off, you can get beat. But at the same time, it's a lot better than lining up against a team that we know that we're, trying to prepare a bunch of, freshmen and sophomores to play a game that's really important, but against a team that we should beat if we just play. And, so the mindset in that week isn't always as good. And so now every single week we gotta come and bring it in practice throughout the week and prepare, because like I said, you could get beat by anybody on any given week here. So it's going to be exciting, and finally got 6 home games. We haven't played at home a lot in the last couple of years. So it's nice to be home and got some really good matchups, from the start. So we'll see.
Coach, before we let you go, I wanted to ask you about Devin Drew, one of your former guys who was at Texas Tech over the last couple of years. He arrived in Lincoln today. Tell us a little bit about him and as a player and as a person and what he could bring to Nebraska.
Yeah, one, he's a great kid, and I think, we brought him in. So he played middle linebacker in high school at about 235 pounds.
Wow.
And he walked on here, and we moved him to D end. And when we started camp, he was at one of our defensive end spots. He was 7th on the depth chart. And every single day we go into staff meetings, and Devin Drew kept rising up, and I'm like, Devin, this kid walked on here, and coach like, no, coach, like, he takes coaching, he does what he's supposed to do. And the kid I put him on scholarship before the first game, a 2-year starter, never missed, works his tail off, doesn't say anything. He just brings his lunch pail to work every day, but he's really coachable. He's, nothing flashy, but he does his job, and the plays he's supposed to make, he makes, and I think you always need a guy like that. But, he's a great kid. He took care of his business, graduated in a year and a half. And, I think the best is ahead of him, but I'm hoping that he can really do a good job for them guys down there. And I think he'll fit a role for them for sure, just because of the way he plays. He's that blue collar, tough, hard nosed kid.
Yeah, that's awesome. Coach, we appreciate the time. We'll talk a couple times throughout the season, but we look forward to seeing you guys, seeing you at home a little bit more this year. That's exciting.
Yes.
We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Coach.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Scott Strohmeier, the head coach at Iowa Western. They'll kick off their season the 27th of August, the same day Nebraska does, against Dodge City. And they play their home games over at Lewis Central. That was fun.
Free tailgate beforehand. Every Saturday.
Look at Josh, Mr. Iowa Western, with his Iowa Western shirt on.
I mean, I'm a little sad we won't be taking chartered flights to games this year, but
What, you don't like the road trips to Independence and Highland? And
let me tell you something about Kansas, Connor.
Oh yeah,
not a lot going on there.
Oh yeah.
Thought there'd at least be some sunflowers on the road to look at. Nope.
No.
Nope.
Not much going on down there. Nope. Like deep into Kansas too.
Yeah.
Like not close to here.
No, one of the I forget which one it is. One of them's like on the Oklahoma border.
Yeah, it could be worse. Could be worse.
Sure.
I mean, it could be worse. It's
Absolutely.
been worse, I think, for Iowa Western over the last couple of years.
It's significantly better than playing Northeast, West Texas,
Oklahoma
State Tech JV that just put a football team together 6 days ago.
Yeah.
And like, hey, can you do us a favor and play a game? You're going to lose 70-0, but we need the game.
That's it, man. It's really like at that level of football, and especially if you don't have affiliation with a conference, or a conference, doesn't give you games that, automatically every year, you're sort of on your own. You got to make some calls. And so I imagine that's a big win for Coach Stroh to get that back this year. So playing some Jayhawk teams, playing some ICCAC teams, the other 2 ICCAC teams, and they will get going here in just a couple weeks, trying to get back to the national championship game. Thanks, Coach, for joining us. That was fun. We'll do that again a couple more times throughout the season. We will come back. More up next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
And this is, again, conditional, but if Nebraska's on a roll, then all of a sudden this game moves way up. Purdue, I think, is a legitimate division contender, even though not a lot of people are picking them. But the history, too. Jeff Brom has kind of had Scott Frost's number. I get it. There's still this mental block about it. Oh, it's only Purdue. Well, it's not only Purdue. Purdue has been really good against Nebraska.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Plenty of sunshine Wednesday and hotter with a high this afternoon in Omaha near 94 degrees. Winds out of the southeast stay light. Tonight, mostly clear and mild. Overnight lows into the mid-60s. We'll keep temperatures in the mid-90s as we head throughout the rest of the work week before reaching the triple digits potentially for your weekend. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV News Watch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Let me get you up to speed on the service that you need.
At Omaha Transmission, we don't have a warehouse full of transmissions waiting to be sold. We will diagnose and then repair or remanufacture your transmission. It's how we've always done it and how we'll always do it. Treating people the way that we want to be treated is how we do business at Omaha Transmission.
Omaha Transmission, shifting to running smooth.
Right now at 42 degrees, save up to 75% on Kratom, Delta 8, CBDs, pipes, candles, vaporizers, e-juice, and a lot more during our inventory clearance sale. That's right, save up to 75% on everything we carry during our inventory clearance sale. With the friendliest and professional staff, numerous locations, and up to 75% off, come to the Source 42 degrees. By your mom's house.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Give your business a whole host of options with Host Coffee. The most impressive selection of office coffee, water options, healthy food options, and vending technologies. Host Coffee, serving you since 72.
No one in Omaha can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Let our local family serve your family. Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Call today or visit us online at shamrockroofer.com.
Hey, you got any gum?
Yeah, check my backpack.
What's this?
Oh, that's naloxone. It can reverse an opioid overdose. I decided to always keep it on me after my friend almost died. It saved his life.
I'm so sorry. That makes me want to have it with me too.
You totally should. Check the pharmacy. It was actually really easy to get and it's easy to use.
I definitely will. Thanks.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Kirsten Bernthal Booth here with Creighton Volleyball. The 2022 season has arrived, which means we are under a month away from packing the CHI Health Center with the nation's best volleyball fans as Creighton and Nebraska face off. Whether you're a Blue Jay or a Husker, you don't want to miss out on championship-level competition on the state's biggest stage. First serve is set for 5 p.m. on Wednesday, September 7th. Get your tickets now at gocreighton.com/buy.
Connor Happer, Josh Hodson back with you on the Connor Happer Show. 1620 The Zone. In 1620thezone.com. A couple nuggets from practice media availability. Or one, Trey Palmer was not feeling good today. He was held out of practice. Also, Dakotas Crawford did not practice. And Mickey Joseph said, you're going to have to talk to the trainer about that one.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I don't know what that means. But, you know, every time we hear from Mickey, and maybe we'll have some bites or some clips throughout the show today. You get the feeling they're in a little bit of a pinch here. right? I think they're not quite, and he probably knew this going in. They're probably not quite up to his standard in terms of the talent and the depth of talent that they need to have in that room. At least that's my sense on it now. I mean, remember in the spring we were talking about Mickey Joseph saying, "Hey, look, I think I want to find 9 guys who could play," and now the expectation has sort of been tempered a little bit. He says last week, it's probably I want to find 6 now, and I don't, that's fine as long as you can find them. But Mickey Joseph has high expectations. He has high standards for his room. And as I've said before, one of the things I really like about him is that he knows exactly what he wants and exactly what he's looking for. And he has requirements that you have to meet before you get on the field. So you know what you have to do in order to play at the University of Nebraska under Mickey Joseph. That's cool. I like that's not just cool. It's a good thing. It's a good way to coach. Expectations, boundaries are good. But you get the sense we're sort of in an in-between group right now, in terms of what they're going to continue to recruit and what they're going to do inside of the transfer portal as time sort of goes along here. I just think they're probably a little bit thinner than maybe they want it to be. Is that fair?
I think so.
I mean, especially on a day where Trey Palmer didn't practice and he's probably, he's going to be your best guy. That'd be my guess.
What's going on in Lincoln?
Are we doing that again? What's going on in Lincoln? A lot of pictures from practice this morning. A lot of pictures of Devin Drew.
Only one GIF though.
Only one GIF. That was of Yant. That's
true.
That was from Mitch Sherman. But only one GIF. Sometimes you GIF people make me say GIF.
we dupe you into saying it correctly.
No, it's incorrect. I think they're at the part of camp right now where, they're, there's probably a couple nagging injuries that are cropping up a little bit as well. Like we may be getting very, very close to the point in time where we would call it grind time. Hey, not that this is our attitude, but we got to find a way to get through this. We got to fight through this. It's only a matter of time before you hear the players saying, "I just want to hit somebody else."
I was gonna ask, has anyone
very close
uttered the magic phrase?
We're very close. I'm not sure. I haven't seen any tweets about it yet, so my guess would be no. I haven't seen it pop up in a video yet. There was also some videos of punts this morning. Mitch Sherman gave us those as well.
So they are practicing these things.
Are you down for watching punting videos? Are you that locked into how the special teams are going to be that you are locked into how well Brian Buschini punts one individual punt?
No.
Yeah.
It's nice to know, hey, they are working on these things. Am I going to go out of my way to find said video? No.
Yeah.
But then again, I like baseball.
I'm going to watch it 45 times. But then again, I like baseball. Yeah. You like Little League Baseball? Missouri 3, Iowa 1, bottom of the 5th?
Come on, Iowa.
Does Iowa need this?
It's not an elimination game. I believe both teams are 2-0 in their bracket.
Oh, so they have to play twice?
Yeah. I don't know which team's which.
Regionals.
Okay. Missouri's batting. Okay. Runner on third.
Oh, they're both red. That's not that fun. We touched on this a little bit earlier when Mitch joined the show, but he had a good story in The Athletic. A couple questions based off of it, and we talked a little bit about Nebraska's brand last week. Nebraska's brand power amid 5 consecutive losing seasons. Here's what the TV numbers say: from 2015 to 2021, an average TV audience for each Big Ten team. Number 1, Ohio State, 5.8 million viewers. So used to saying dollars after that. Viewers. Michigan, just a hair over 5. Penn State, So big gap after 1, big gap after 2. Penn State 3.7 million viewers. Michigan State next, about 3.3. Wisconsin, little over 3. Nebraska, about 2.4, almost 2.5. Iowa, a little over 2, and then Indiana, and then you go down the rest of the league. So Nebraska is still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th in terms of television viewers. Keep in mind that they have played Ohio State each of those years. That helps. I'm not trying to minimize what Nebraska does in terms of brand value and viewership, but it helps anytime you play Ohio State. Nebraska's highest rated games over the last several years are almost all against Ohio State. Mitch has that list too. Nebraska's most watched game since 2015, Josh. What do you think it was?
Wow. Most watched game since 2015.
I don't believe that you will guess correctly.
Well, then in that case, I will say the first game of the Scott Frost era.
No. Although that was on the list.
Okay.
Over just about 3.4 million viewers. Iowa 2015.
Oh.
Undefeated Iowa comes to town.
I assume that was one of the times it was on Big Fox.
It is Mike Riley's first year. It was on ABC.
Oh, okay.
It was on ABC.
Network TV.
On Black Friday. Mm-hmm. It was about 4 degrees. Tommy Armstrong threw 4 picks and Nebraska lost. That look on your face.
No comment.
It was very windy. I'm no Tommy apologist, but it was very windy that day. And they still almost found a way to win. They did not. Iowa went to the Big Ten championship game where they lost, I will remind you. And then the next 1, 2, 3, 4 of the most watched Nebraska games since 2015 were all Ohio State games.
Okay. I would have guessed that until you said, oh, you'll never guess this. I said, okay, so it is not an Ohio State game.
So out of the top 5, 4 of them were Ohio State games, and the other one was the Iowa game in 2015, and they were undefeated. So, yeah, it matters how good you are and the brands you're playing against. And I want to go back to that statement on Nebraska and here in just a second. Let's continue to go through the list. So, 2019 Ohio State, that was the college game day game for Nebraska. Didn't end up well. I think the 6.14 million viewers probably all were tuned out by about 7:30 that evening. It got ugly quickly. Although I went back and watched the first couple minutes of that game one time, and there was a world where if a couple more things went well for Nebraska, they could have competed until halftime. But it wasn't, they got a pass interference call in the end zone. They threw a picker. I think Adrian threw a pick. It was behind Wan'Dale Robinson, going toward the sideline. I mean, people were like, oh, Adrian threw a pick. Okay, 2021 Ohio State, which is this past year. Nebraska competed late into that game, a little over 5 million viewers. 18 Ohio State and 16 Ohio State. Now, 16 Ohio State, that was ugly quickly as well. Remember, Tommy Armstrong died, and then they lost 62-3, but Tommy came back. He ran on the field like a hero. Remember that one?
Yeah.
That was a good one. In the 18 game where Nebraska competed in that one in Columbus, over 5 million viewers. The Michigan game last year got over 4.5. And then you sort of pick out random. And there was the Oregon game. There was the Oklahoma game from last year, which will rate higher. The Oklahoma game this year, the Oklahoma game last year. What do you think? Oklahoma game last year, 4.21 million viewers.
This year.
There wouldn't be any reason why, but yes, let's say yes. Absolutely. Sure.
Positive boys.
Most of the Iowa games on there, that's the exclusive, window that Nebraska has for Black Friday. Obviously the bigger ones, go here first. The ABC ones, it rates higher on ABC. And it rates higher when Iowa's a little bit better, obviously. Both Colorado games are on the list. And then the weird season opener last year against Illinois. Also.
Okay.
So there's the other question in the group. Where will this year's Northwestern game?
Week 0, biggest game of the opening weekend of college football. I think it'll do
Better
a surprisingly high number.
I would imagine, and I don't know. I can't remember exactly what else went on week 0 last year. There might have been a couple other games there, and there may have been one worth watching, actually. I don't know if that's the case this year. And it's actually in Ireland. People might actually want to see it. Northwestern is a bigger draw than Illinois, believe it or not. Illinois is the worst draw in the conference. According to this list that we have anyway. And then Nebraska is always somewhat of a draw. I think the game against Northwestern rates better this year than it did last year against Illinois when it was supposed to be in Ireland, but instead it was just in Champaign, Illinois.
Within that specific window of games, your choices are that on Big Fox or Austin Peay in Western Kentucky on CBS Sports Network.
Yeah, no, I think we'll have a captive audience.
Yeah.
On August the 27th.
You see this quote from Whipple?
Uh-oh, what did he say?
What
did he say?
We had a bad day today. The kids were tired.
Oh, God.
They felt sorry for themselves. Bad day of practice for the offense, according to Mitch Sherman.
Mark Whipple said the defense definitely won today's practice. The offense didn't have much juice when they came out this morning. Said that's going to happen in a long season. They have to find a way to power through when he does. That's from Jacob Padilla. Also, he just is giving us the depth chart at quarterback.
Yeah.
Apparently, Sam said Chubba and Casey Thompson are splitting number 1 reps.
Oh.
Gonna go ahead and try and get that from someone else, because that's sort of significant. Maybe that's just to get Chubba a little bit more up to speed. Mark Whipple said the defense won the day. Top 2 quarterbacks right now are Thompson and Purdy, with the OC specifying Smothers as third. That is from Brian Christopherson. Okay, we're gonna parse through that here just a little bit. But that was important. Thank you. Offense bad, defense good. Give us your takes. 951-1620. Okay, so back to this brand thing real quick. So you look at Nebraska and where it stands in the league and their watchability. Obviously, everybody's numbers in the conference are a little bit, I mean, they're influenced by who you play. So if you're one of those lower tier teams and you're playing against the Michigans and the Penn States and the Ohio States, especially, if you're playing Ohio State, you're rating well on TV. The only reason that we're talking about this, and I know some people's reaction to this is like, why are we talking about TV ratings so much? Because this is what matters in the new world of college football. Nothing else matters. How many people are watching you on TV? This is like winning the national championship.
Are you relevant?
Yes. Do you win in TV ratings? How many people are watching you? And if you're Ohio State, you are winning the Big Ten championship, obviously. In that, if you're playing Ohio State, it rates pretty well as well. Now you're not winning the game, but it's rating very, very well. That's why you find Ohio State on Big Noon Fox when they're playing Indiana. That's why that exists. So my question is this. The brand right now for Nebraska has obviously fallen back toward the middle of the pack. It's still an upper tier brand in the Big Ten. Is that a sign, and I'll make the case for one of these, is that a sign of the brand being diminished? Or as you know, as some have pointed out over the last couple weeks and months and even years here, Nebraska's brand is diminished. Nebraska's brand is tarnished. It's taken a hit. Obviously, the numbers reflect that. I have a better word for it. Dormant. I think once Nebraska starts winning again, it roars back. And it really, I mean, so while we can't judge Nebraska as a program and as a brand based off of what they did in the 90s every time we talk about them, I don't think it does them much justice to judge them exclusively off of what they've been the last 5 years, which is a non-bowl team. I don't think that's fair because they have everything. They have all of the bullet points, the boxes that looks like a team that wins 8 or 9 games every year, or one of the major brands in college football. And if you get back to that point, I think it roars again, and you start to see Nebraska up closer to Penn State and Michigan rather than closer to, the what? Minnesota's, Purdue's, Indiana's, and Iowa's of the world. And nothing against Iowa. I think Nebraska and Iowa are pretty similar right now in terms of brand. But they just obviously go about it in a different way. My other question, I asked this to Mitch, and I brought it up a little bit yesterday, is what does this mean for scheduling going forward? Once again, if you notice, you go on Nebraska's website and you look for their 2023, 2024, 2025 conference schedule. It does not exist. They don't have one right now. So they're still sort of parsing through that. And keep in mind, the Big Ten is about to put pen to paper on a massive, massive media deal, and a groundbreaking one, not only for the conference, but for college football in general, where there's going to be a lot of Fox, but there's going to be some CBS and there's going to be some NBC. And they want to, I would assume, get their money's worth with the schedule as well. Mitch made a great point, though. When the Big Ten goes to 16 teams, they're going to have a lot of brands in there. Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Michigan State, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Iowa are all averaging over 2 million a game. I'd imagine USC and UCLA both also fit right into that category. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then adding UCLA and USC, that's 9 brands that are pretty significant in the world of college football out of your 16 teams. So even if one of the top brands is playing one of the crap brands, for lack of a better word, you're still going to get one of those top ones. And that's going to rate high in terms of TV. And that's exactly what the TV, people, the networks are looking for. So I think obviously this stuff matters and it factors into scheduling, but there's only so much you can do from a scheduling perspective to get marquee games or to manufacture marquee games. I just think you're probably going to get them every week. It's maybe not as bad as I expected. I mean, yesterday I was sort of sounding the alarms on Nebraska's going to have to maybe bite the bullet a little bit more here. And play some really good teams. So this is just a matter of being in the Big Ten now. Chances are you're going to play a really, really good team that's going to rate highly every single week. And that's why NBC and CBS have dove headfirst into the Big Ten waters, because they can see that just as well as everybody else can. So, I don't know if that means Nebraska's going to play Ohio State every year now. I don't think so. It's the more teams you bring in, the more brands you bring in, the more opportunities to get unique, fun games on the schedule. And those games rate. And then there's still the non-conference games as well. It'll be exciting when Nebraska shows up on ESPN ABC again at some point. I don't know when that'll be. Maybe. Well, I guess you're going to Colorado this year. Is Colorado back on the schedule later?
Yeah, they come back. Is it next year?
Sorry, Colorado's on the schedule next year. Yeah. Are they back for more?
I believe that is a 2-year.
Well, yeah, you're going to play them at home again. Mm-hmm. So let's see. Colorado in 23 and 24. Are they back for more after that? No. So that was just a 4-game deal. Hey, look, maybe there's something to look forward to now in the Oklahoma State game of 2034 and 2035.
Ooh.
Nebraska's first appearance back on ESPN. Oh no, they'll have Tennessee before that. That could be an ESPN ABC game. Anyway. All right. I want to hear from you guys. 402-951-1620. You could also text into the show, same number, 402-951-1620. Jamie writes in on the Twitter at Happer Show. What's funny about the highest rated games? Most of them are primetime or big noon kickoffs games, like you said, or the Black Friday games. So maybe the time slot does matter. It's always the time slot combined with the game. But you're right. I mean, let's see. For all of the big noon, there's a pretty good mix here of ABC, ESPN, and Fox games on Nebraska's most watched games over the last 5-6 seasons here. But none of them were FS1 and none of them were BTN, so they're all the major networks, and that still matters, the over-the-air stuff, with the exception of ESPN. I mean, it goes like this: ABC, Fox, ABC, Fox, ABC, ESPN, Fox, ABC, ESPN, Fox, ABC, Fox. Those are Nebraska's most watched games. And now BTN loves to, and maybe this will be an opportunity for the new networks that are coming in, CBS, NBC. I would imagine that they see a window of opportunity with Nebraska's Black Friday mainstay. It was BTN's highest rated game ever last year.
That's right.
And they'll see that and say, or maybe BTN put it in the contract to keep it. That'll be interesting to see where that lands too. But I imagine that game in particular would be a high value. I know that there was some conversations, that I think it came out in Nicole Auerbach's story yesterday, that the Big Ten had sort of confronted some of their teams about, hey, do you guys want to play on Black Friday too? Because obviously these networks are interested in the game. So I think that'll be a pretty high value game as we dive into and parse through which games are on which networks. All right. The odd news featuring Josh is next on 1620 The Zone.
I'm a fabulous driver.
The Connor Happer Show.
I'm one of the best friends you could ever have in your life.
On 1620 The Zone.
I hate you.
You could win $5,000 to have the ultimate tailgate party on 1620 The Zone. Enter now at 1620thezone.com.
Your vehicle is important. It gets you where you need to go, but it does much more than that. I'm Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center, and at Dingman's, we know your vehicle is an investment and that safety is your priority. To make sure your vehicle is as safe as it was prior to an accident, bring it to Dingman's for proper, safe, and certified repairs. We protect you and your investment. We've been voted Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Find us at dingmans.com.
Did you get the Clement Horizon clean last night? I don't want another barnacle incident. Where's Ivan?
Kiki's head of docking operations just jumped ship.
What do you mean he's sailing around the world?
She needs a new marina manager to help keep her head above water.
Yeah, the tide's perfect, but we are slammed.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I've been driving trucks for a long time. Safety is my number one priority. I know that my truck has huge blind spots. That's why I remember to check my mirrors often for smaller vehicles. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're behind the wheel, try to avoid lingering in those blind spots. It can be dangerous. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
With video games, I'm often choosing between what my kids want and what I think is best for them. Hey, Mom, how about this one? Rated T for teen with violence and suggestive themes. Let me check the rating summary. Frenetic combat, cries of pain, female warlords expose cleavage. Maybe the other one's better. The rating summaries are free. Use them, and you'll be armed with the world's most powerful weapon, knowledge.
For more information, go to esrb.org.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn.
Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment. Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Okay, it's time for the odd news.
You sound so down about it.
I'm just reading some quotes. From the offense, from Nebraska's offense today. Casey Thompson says, quote, "We need more voices on offense. You have me and Travis Vokalek, but I think the defense has a lot more guys picking other guys up."
Oh, okay. A lot of people would say that the quarterback is a natural leader.
We have Casey.
Okay.
We have Casey, according to Casey, and Travis Vokalek. And Casey later added that this is practice number 12. This isn't the first time we've had to have this type of conversation with our guys. So, and this is something we talked about in the offseason. And this is part of the learning curve. I'm not overly sounding the alarms on this, but it's part of the learning curve. And you have to find leaders, and you're bringing in a lot of different guys from a lot of different places. I don't think that there's anybody who really stands out to me on that offensive line, even though they have a bunch of returning guys as, vocal leaders. The personalities there, I'm not, I don't know. I don't think, a guy with a lot of experience who I think has a voice, but maybe just not as loud as you'd want it to be, is Ramir Johnson. So like you almost have to manufacture it a little bit. Look, just bring it all together, man. That's all that matters. Bring it all together.
Casey said the thumb's good.
Casey said his thumb's good. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'd rather have it good than bad. That's for sure.
Yeah, you want the thumb to be
Is
good.
he spinning it?
Oh, I don't know. Is he slinging it?
I don't know which one I'd rather have.
Get a text into Mitch here real quick.
Poll question. Would you rather have him spin it or sling it?
Which would you rather have at Happer Show?
QB spins it. QB slings it. It's a good one. It'll be up at Happer Show. Also, you're going to want to check out Happer Show and send in your tweets, because the tweet bag is coming up here in just a couple minutes. And however much nonsense you would like to talk about, it is available for you to tweet at Happer Show. But first, the odd news. Josh, what do we have today?
We begin in Pittsburgh, where we got to make fun of Rodolfo here.
Rodolfo?
Yeah, the iPhone guy.
The iPhone guy?
Yeah, the Pirates player whose iPhone fell out.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
I didn't know his name.
Bizarre scene in the Pirates game last night. A player's phone spilled out of his pocket while he was sliding into, I believe it was third base.
It was.
And his manager was unhappy. Pittsburgh second baseman Rodolfo Castro committed the blunder in the fourth inning of the Buccos tilt with the Diamondbacks, where he went headfirst into third base. The 23-year-old was reaching for the bag safely. His phone flew from his back pocket and hit the base the same time he did. Castro, who was just called up from the minor leagues for Tuesday's game, was initially oblivious to it all, but had to pick it up after an ump pointed out to him that it was on the ground. He then handed it to the third base coach, who did not appear pleased. Following the game, Pirates skipper Derek Shelton, not thrilled, telling media members That was just a kid who made a mistake. Just one of those things we move forward and tell him, you can't do that.
We reacting or are we overreacting?
I mean, it's hilarious. But, I mean, that's the end of it. Like, that's one of those things, I don't even have to come up to you and tell you you can't do that because you know you are embarrassed. You feel the shame of it. Like, you're not going to do it again.
I just don't know how. How is it possible for you for the phone to leave the locker room with you, and then it gets to the dugout, and then it gets with you on the field?
Mm-hmm.
There's like several barriers there that you have, mental barriers that you have to go through. It's like me in not being able to lose my wallet. Like I'm checking it all the time. If I have my phone on me, I'm gonna feel that immediately. There's no way. Maybe he was messing with it in the dugout. Maybe he was doing some behind the scenes stuff. Maybe we could blame the media for trying to do all these behind the scenes, mic'd up parts of their broadcast.
That's right. It's really our fault.
I think so.
He's trying to get his TikTok on.
Yep.
Like, hey, first night in the bigs.
Oh, dude, it would go so viral.
Yeah.
It goes so viral. Imagine if there was a TikTok made from a Major League dugout by a player live.
Yeah. Remember when the Steelers wide receivers were all about that social media life?
Yeah. Juju. Got made fun of quite a bit for that.
Now that comes to Arrowhead this fall.
I have some breaking news.
Oh.
A Bud Light truck is spilled.
Yes, it has.
Is that on here?
It is. It was not in my odd news for today, but it very well could be.
There's a lot of Bud Light on the side of the road somewhere in Kentucky? Yeah, Louisville.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Louisville. So if you need some beer, just go ahead, run down there, scoop some up.
That is a massive, massive spill.
Poor Rodolfo.
Just cases and cases of Bud Light. Our next story takes us to Bangladesh. In honor of Aiden Hutchinson doing karaoke last night. This karaoke singer was arrested by the police
for
being a bad karaoke singer.
That's all it takes.
And bothering those around him.
Yeah, Bangladesh.
His name is, and forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it, Hero Alam, an out-of-tune Bangladeshi singer with a huge internet following, hauled out of a karaoke club by police at dawn and told to cease his painful renditions of classic songs. Hero, as he styles himself, has amassed nearly 2 million Facebook followers and almost 1.5 million followers on YouTube with his unique crooning style and raunchy videos.
This is great.
Not sure how a karaoke video gets raunchy. I don't care to learn either, but we'll find out.
I am sick of the YouTube and TikTok people doing pranks on everybody in public. I really am. This is not great. I don't love this. You see them pop up on YouTube all the time and they start asking people stuff or they prank people and they're like, no, it's just a joke. You know how many videos I've seen of the people inside like grocery stores or Walmarts or something like that, and they'll like go up to a person and tap them on the shoulder and then like, just move the other way, or they're like throw something over their heads or something like that, or hit them with a ball. Like that you might think that's funny. That's not funny. Get off my lawn.
And there's a show clip for this week. Thank you.
It's not funny.
No, I agree. It's not. One of his songs in which he appears in traditional Arab clothing on a sand dune with camels superimposed in the background has garnered 17 million views on YouTube. But it's also drawn the scorn of critics, particularly for versions of classic songs, those beloved national treasures over there in Bangladesh. So people find the bit to be not funny over there as well. On Wednesday, Hero said he was mentally tortured by police who told him to stop performing songs in public. Also told him he was too ugly to be a singer. I don't think that's a police matter in any part of the world.
I think it should be. Get off the stage. You suck and you're ugly. And if we don't take you off the stage, we'll take you to jail.
He tells the local news outlet he was held in interrogation for 8 hours. Again, there's no crimes surrounding this. He was not adjacent to any crime. It's just that he's a bad karaoke singer.
And he's ugly.
Apparently. I'm not ready to rule on that just yet, though. Yeah, it just goes on and on like this.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Bangladesh did a great thing here.
They're the real MVPs.
Yeah, good job by their government.
And as we've done every day this week, we end in Florida. Just kind of what we do now.
And we end in Florida. We're going to make a T-shirt that says, and we end in Florida.
Print it up, Triple B.
Yep.
A woman is busted for a meat attack on her male partner.
A meat attack?
Yes, a Florida woman is facing a domestic assault charge for allegedly throwing a steak at her partner during a confrontation Sunday night. Police say Rochelle Wright, 42 years young, and the male victim were, quote, involved in a verbal argument and were intoxicated, end quote.
Mm-hmm.
When the uncooked meat went airborne, cops report the couple has been together 20 years and are the parents of a juvenile. According to I don't know why that's important to the story. According to the criminal complaint, Wright became angry at the victim while he was seated in a chair inside the family's home in a Tampa suburb. Investigators allege she subsequently picked up the steak and threw it at the victim. The meat, however, missed its mark.
Oh.
Instead, the steak struck the victim's chair and a nearby wall. When questioned by police, Wright reportedly copped to the meat flinging, saying she was tired of his behavior.
Is she in trouble for this?
She is arrested for domestic assault.
What?
A misdemeanor charge. She was released on her own recognizance. The complaint notes that the steak was identified as a weapon and it was not confiscated by police.
So somebody could theoretically still cook this steak.
Yes, it did hit the chair and the wall. I don't know what the chair was made out of. I don't know if you're going to have little fuzzies on the steak or if it was a leather chair and it just slides right off.
Yeah, I think that guy should be thankful. Thanks for the steak, baby.
After someone throws a steak at you in a fit of passion and rage, can you request that they cook it up afterwards?
Go ahead, cook it up.
Oh, you threw it at me. Now cook it.
Cook this hairy steak. It'll be the best thing you cooked in weeks.
Oh, Herb.
All right, Florida doing Florida things.
Mm-hmm.
Yet again, thank you, Josh.
That's what they do.
That is the odd news. Coming up next, it is time for the tweet bag. Get your tweets in. And remember, even if it's a text, even if it's a call, even if it's
an email,
a comment, even if it's an email, it's still a tweet.
Yeah, YouTube comments, we'll allow those in the tweet bag.
And that is coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
The Ford truck lineup is purpose-built from the ground up, designed to be tough and productive. Crafted with high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy body and torture-tested high-strength steel frame with new tech to help you work smart and hard. The F-150, Ranger, and Maverick are built tough and ready to tackle whatever lies ahead. Hit the road in confidence and learn more about Ford trucks in-store or online anytime at WoodhouseFord.com, your trusted truck dealer since 1975. Woodhouse Ford.
Take your science or healthcare degree to the next level at College of St. Mary and apply to one of our in-demand graduate programs. Earn a Doctor of Physical Therapy with our online on-campus hybrid program. Earn a Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies in just 2 years, or an Occupational Therapy Doctorate in 3 years. Graduate programs at CSM are inclusive and open to everyone. Plus, we offer an accelerated pathway to several of our healthcare programs for those needing their undergraduate degree. Apply today. Get started at csm.edu.
Are you prepared for more severe food shortages? It's likely that over the next year, serious food shortages will plague us. American farmers are dealing with insane diesel fuel prices and fertilizer shortages, which will lower crop yields. And that means your family's favorite foods will soon be in short supply while fetching sky-high prices. Inflation is the new normal, folks. It's time to act before things get even worse. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com without delay. You'll find ready-hour emergency food kits from My Patriot Supply that last up to 25 5 years in storage. Each kit provides over 2,000 calories a day to keep your energy up. Order your emergency food kits today by going to mypatriotsupply.com. Your food ships fast and arrives in unmarked boxes. Listen, there are ways to beat food shortages. When you're ready for real preparedness, make sure to look for Ready Hour Foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com right now. mypatriotsupply.com.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
This is the Tweetbag. You send your questions in, and we answer them. Like no other radio segment ever. It's the Tweetbag on the Connor Happer Show.
That's right. It's time for the Tweetbag. Send in your tweets. They can come in the form of a tweet, an email, a phone call, a comment, a text. 402-951-1620. Tweet at Happer Show, at Connor Happer. I don't think we have anything to offer you today. We just our respect.
Yeah, just our respect, which is really something you can't put a price on. Right.
It's pretty important.
Yeah.
Pretty big deal, I would think. Thank you for sending in a question. I respect you. I respect you more because I respect you a lot right now. All right. You can still get those in as we go on throughout. But Josh, let's fire it up. What do we have today?
In honor of the end of Better Call Saul coming up on Monday. Right? Monday. Yeah. Which TV series finale did you enjoy the most?
There's been some bad ones.
Right. We definitely remember those more, right?
Oh, yeah. I think we may have talked about this on a Tweetbag before, but like the How I Met Your Mother, how that sort of wound down. That was not great.
They had to do an alternate ending because people hated the ending of that show so much.
I actually thought, I actually thought the Office did pretty well. I've seen the last episode of that show a lot, and it sort of still makes you cry.
Yeah,
right?
Them watching the documentary back is really
fun. There's a wedding. No spoiler alerts, I guess.
Yeah, no spoilers.
For a show that's pretty old. I think The Office did it pretty well. I think that may be my answer.
Okay. I think I'm going to do top 5 series finales.
Okay.
Today.
I like that. There's going to be a lot of shows that I haven't seen before.
Yeah, you don't know.
The Office did it pretty well. Breaking Bad was good. I've seen people sort of afterwards say that Breaking Bad did not have a great ending. I think what you sort of have to realize is that it wasn't supposed to end well for the main character of that show, even though somehow people were still sort of rooting for him at the end. What's going to happen to him? Yeah, if you weren't expecting that, then you probably were just, it was a hope that it was going to be a different show than it ended up being. But that was sort of the thing the whole time.
He was a bad guy.
We're going to turn this guy into a pretty bad guy. And the payoff is actually him dying.
But no, I'm rooting for him to raise money to fight his cancer.
Maybe he'll turn it around and he'll get out of the business. No, went past the point of no return, I think, on that one a little bit. I think The Office would be my answer. Sorry to be generic, but yeah, that would be my answer.
Typical white guy.
I've seen some really good shows. I have seen some really bad shows. Not all of them. I mean, The Office is one of the shows that was fortunate enough, and really the most popular ones of all time, like the only ones that sort of get this. They were really fortunate to get their ending. A lot of TV shows just don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
There were shows. I mean, I always bring this one up. I really loved the show The Last Man on Earth with Will Forte.
Yes.
It was it was a very, very good show. And it there's actually things now where you look back from the pandemic, and you're like, oh, interesting stuff going on in that show. So that one, we never really got an ending. They canceled it sort of abruptly, and wanted to see where that one ended up. They would have done it pretty well, I think, and true to the show.
Same thing happened to Alf.
Of course. Who could forget Alf?
Ended on a cliffhanger, and it got canceled. And I never got to finish that cliffhanger.
That sucks.
Yeah.
What happened? What was the Alf cliffhanger?
I believe he was meeting a music executive. Alf was.
I didn't know about this.
And he was going to take Alf with him, and Alf had to choose between being a famous music star and going back to his home planet of Melmac. And he didn't know what to do because, that's obviously a very tough decision. Do I go back home or to become a big hotshot music guy?
Can't believe Alf was a show.
4 seasons, I believe.
Okay.
Alf was a great show.
Next.
Did you like Alf? Poll question.
Did you like Alf? Poll question.
Did you like Alf?
I did not watch Alf. I've never seen Alf. I know what Alf is. I guess I don't know what he is, but I know what he looks like. What is he?
Well, Alf stands for alien life form. So he's an alien.
Yeah, but what is he?
Well, what do you mean, what is he?
What is he? What is he?
He's a very small person in a suit.
Yeah, but what is he supposed to be?
An alien.
He's like a hairy
alien. Yeah.
Elephant looking guy.
Mixed between like a dog and an anteater.
Okay. But that's undefined?
Right. Would you want him to be a gray, tall, weird-headed guy?
I'm not sure. I just I didn't know if he had close relation to any animals that we know about.
Mm-hmm.
Got
it. Jerry tweets in.
Hey, Jerry.
Most overrated player in professional sports.
Whoa. Most overrated player in professional sports. Who would we go to here? Who's the first person that even comes to my mind? I mean, I obviously think baseball first. There's a lot of baseball guys who who end up being overrated simply because the non-baseball watchers or the people who are only in it at the top level are sort of like, oh yeah. I know about that guy.
Yeah, Giancarlo Stanton. Great player.
That's a good one. That's probably a pretty good one.
Okay, he's actually not.
He's not like traditionally good. He hits home runs, so I guess he's good in a lot of people's eyes. He does some flashy things. That's actually a pretty good pick. I go along with that. He's having a good year though.
Okay.
NBA guys. Is there an NFL quarterback that I think is overrated? This could be a very tricky conversation. People have takes about NFL quarterbacks, that's for sure.
Danny Dimes.
I don't think anybody thinks he's very good. It's hard for him to be overrated.
Okay. I mean, I feel him being employed makes him overrated.
I mean, I mean this in. I don't mean this in.
Just say it. Don't couch it.
Lamar Jackson.
Oh,
he's a little overrated.
Okay,
he's a little overrated.
Jeremy tweets in, Jeets, not a superstar in any other city.
Yeah, that's a take that people have. I just don't know if I agree with it.
Who was it that said if Jeter was a Kansas City Royal,
if he was on the Reds, he'd be just a guy?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
Yeah.
That's such a bad take. If Derek Jeter was on the Cincinnati Reds and he won a whole bunch of World Series and got 3,000 hits, everybody knows about Derek Jeter still. Probably not as much. We don't know as much about him as we do right now, but I don't know. It's sort of a ridiculous take. Come on, Jeremy. All right. I can't. I'm not good at thinking about these. I'm bad at this on the spot. That's probably a bad promotion for this segment here. Oh, do we take this, Josh?
Yeah.
Okay. Donnie's here with us. Donnie is going to help us on Alf a little bit. Hi, Donnie.
Hey, Hap. How you doing, man?
Hey, great.
So I'm 50. I'm a little bit older than you.
Yeah.
And the following information that I'm about to divulge to you, not brought from Google because I got a flip phone and I'm in my truck right now, so I don't have access to a computer. So this is why Donnie has a hard time remembering his own kids and his wife's birthday because it's full of information like this. Alf was from the planet Melmac. That the entire planet was covered in things that looked like Alf. He was part of an expedition, and he was accidentally left here. On Melmac, they had cats. Cats, to them, were like chickens. They ate cats. And then there was some sort of, and for the life of me, I can't remember, but there was some sort of strange affinity, whether it was maybe it was their currency, but styrofoam had something to do with that as well. There was some weird thing that went on with styrofoam with Alf, but he was kind of prime time Mr. Snuffleupagus, if you will.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He looked like Snuffleupagus.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So I'm glad I could pass that along, and now maybe I can forget that, and then maybe I can remember some important stuff.
Well, that's extremely helpful. Thank you, Donnie. Appreciate that.
Donnie was referring.
How high was the person who created this show?
Very. Donnie was referring to the foam standard. It is what drove the Melmacian fiscal system. Foam is considered a precious substance on Melmac. On the other hand, gold, which is a precious substance on Earth, was valueless on Melmac. Alf's great uncle Louis is credited with starting the foam rush of 2008.
This is insane.
I loved that show growing up.
I sort of want to watch it now.
All 4 seasons streaming on Peacock.
No kidding?
Yeah.
All right. College football games and Alf. And all the episodes of The Office. The only things on Peacock that anybody cares about. What's next on the tweet bag? I have a couple texts that we can weave through here.
Oh,
too.
yeah. If you got a text, let's go with that.
All right. If you could change the outcome to any sports event in history, what would it be and why?
Ooh.
Okay, so let's just do this exercise for Nebraska football quickly for the sake of it. What do you view to be, and if we're all on the same page here, I think what we're going for is the single game that has been not necessarily the most influential in the moment, or meant the most in the moment, or was the biggest game in the moment, but would mean the most for years and years down the line. Is there a game that does that? Or do you just change a national championship game and, make the kick go in?
You said that, and instantly I went 1 second versus Texas.
Yeah?
Just what happens if they win that game and the domino effect? I don't know if that's the best answer for that question, but
is there a single game that you can go back to? I mean, I think they were still gonna, they would, if that kick doesn't go in or the 1 second rolls off the clock, Nebraska probably still ends up in the Big Ten a couple years later. But if I could somehow prevent that from happening, I think that'd be great. Now, obviously, that opinion has not aged well, because now they're going to be making more than their wildest dreams just by being where they are. But if I could somehow prevent that from happening, if there's any single game, the first one that came to my head as a Royals fan was 2014 Game 7. If they would have won Game 7 of the World Series on a walk-off hit, I would have never shut up about it still. I still don't shut up about it, and they lost. I'd still be talking about it right now, though, every day. I would just make a tweet every day. Remember when the Royals won the World Series on a walk-off hit?
The couple that come to mind for me would be Super Bowl 34. If the Titans could pull that out.
Good one.
Game 7, Celtics, Lakers. I'm bad with years. The year that the Celtics, Lakers went 7 games with and Kobe.
Yeah.
Did the Kobe thing.
Andrew says 0-1 Colorado. Would you change 0-1 Colorado? Well, I certainly would change 0-1 Colorado. That's for sure. But does anything end up differently after that? I mean, we always point that out as like the beginning of the downfall sort of for Nebraska football. But if they win that game, they go to the Big 12 championship game. Do they get beat there? The Big 12 championship game. Do they get beat there? Do they play in the national championship game if they win that? Do they get crushed still by Miami? Like, how much changes after that? Now, if we just want to do the thing where individually I want to forget about that game and pretend like it never existed, that'd be sweet. I would love to do that. I would like to pretend like that game never existed.
It causes me pain. I would like to forget about it.
Yeah. But changing the result, if we're flipping the result, that means we're sort of pointing toward the future a little bit. We have a couple more tweets here that I want to get to. Let's take a phone call. We got Nate on the line. Hey, Nate.
Hiya, fellas. How are you?
Hi. Good.
So this is going to be an unpopular take at first glance here, but go with me and let me round it out. It'll make sense.
All right. Do what you got to do.
If I could go undo something, I would not have Eric Crouch at Nebraska. I love him personally. He's a great dude, and he was a phenomenal talent and athlete. It's not that I'm knocking him. But the problem with Eric Crouch's tenure at Nebraska, it obscured things and changed things. One, his impact offensively vastly masked the problems that were beginning to unfold on the defensive side of the ball.
Good start.
Colorado exposed.
Good. This is a good argument so far. I like this.
No, it's going to get a lot better here in about 2 seconds, and almost inarguable. The net effect of Eric Crouch was the death of both the pipeline and the Nebraska running back room. Period. See, because before Eric Crouch, even when you had Frazier, and even when you had, the kind of behind the scenes Bobby Newcomb kind of thing going on, and then Frost, and even going back to guys like Gant and Joseph and Stiggy and McCant, you had the quarterback would run, but it was always a 50-50 proposition, or even maybe 60-40 running back proposition. So going back to, let's go 80 all the way to Crouch's tenure, you had literally the best running backs in America going to Nebraska or considering Nebraska. Because Crouch is now getting the bulk of Nebraska's carries, right? That's taking away from our fullback. That's taking away from our running back. And you end up with a whole long line of Darren Diedrichs. And that, more than anything, when you get less running back, now if I'm a big hog molly farm boy that wants to block for a 1,000-yard back or even a 2,000-yard back especially, I'm not going to go to Nebraska where they're now doing RPO zone read crap and the quarterback's keeping the ball 90% of the time.
And Nebraska's been too quarterback-centric, for sure.
Absolutely. It completely detonated the program and the formula. And I would even argue, had Osborne stayed, Osborne would have never done that. Never. And again, it's not a person. I actually love Eric. He's been very kind to me over the years with autographs and photos and whatnot. Good dude. Great, phenomenal talent. But his presence inextricably destroyed Nebraska football.
Okay.
It's nearly inarguable.
So let me ask you a follow-up or two here, because
By all means.
I understand what you're going for here, and I don't completely disagree with it. But in this world where Eric Crouch doesn't exist, so are you just replacing him basically with we have a really good running back from 99 on, and what, they're just an average team, or I guess what happens in this alternate universe?
So realistically, alternate universe, as this plays out, post Osborne, you probably have let's just assume Bobby Newcomb would have kept the job.
Okay.
We wouldn't have lost. I mean, he wasn't such a great wide receiver that would have then all of a sudden killed the passing game. He was a nice little niche guy, but Bobby Newcomb is your quarterback. You probably continue with the 50-50 run dispersal, and you go back to being probably a 9-10, think 9-10 win team. Think late 80s, early 90s Nebraska. And then things are cyclical. At some point, the formula itself never changes. So the formula eventually will combust and do what it needs to do. You'll get enough Fanudis and Raiolas in here and Zadiskas in here. And you'll get your once a decade Tommy Frazier in here. And you might, but you'll consistently have the Amon Greens. You'll consistently have the Ken Clarks. You'll have, even guys like Damon Benning. I mean, Damon Benning behind Tony Fanudi and Dominic Raiola is a 1,500-yard back. I have no hesitation in saying that. Even a guy like a Derek Brown. These are guys, Tyrone Hughes. They all played in the NFL. Even if they just returned kicks and punts, they were never the problem, right? Get another Nate Turner in there and see what starts happening. A Leotis Flowers, all these guys that ran around in the backfield and also doubled up and did punts and kicks. We lost all of that. And because we lost them, now if I'm a big run-blocking high school kid, let's see, I can go to Nebraska and get gassed trying to play RPO, never really knowing for sure where the ball is going to go, or I can go north to Wisconsin and block for what's probably going to be a Heisman Trophy winning running back.
Yeah.
I mean, Wisconsin took our formula, and now we're sitting here scratching our heads like, why didn't this work? It didn't work because Eric Crouch was so dynamic. He caused us to lose everything. He was the hot blonde that took us out of our marriage.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, Nate, thanks for the call. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna
go ahead.
move.
By all means, brother. Have a great day.
Appreciate it, Nate. So here's the thing. Let's use Wisconsin as an example. Now we're way off the tracks, but this is fine. Let's use Wisconsin as an example. So the complaint always is at Wisconsin, and they win a lot of games, but they're still complaining about the fact that they don't have good enough quarterback play. And it's sort of by design, as Nate was sort of referring to there. They don't have good quarterback play. Not for the purpose of, hey, this year we're going to have a really bad quarterback, but it sort of fits in the ecosystem of their offense and what they do. And I think that's what Nate was trying to say, sort of the other way around. I think eventually all of the programs have sort of come across their moment of like, and it was during that time and in the years to follow, you get a really good quarterback and he does a lot for you. A generational quarterback. He sets all the records. Maybe he wins a Heisman and he wins a lot of games for you in a short amount of time. And then the guy that comes in after that just isn't good enough compared to that guy. So you have to adjust what you do. And that can be a really, really tough adjustment. I like the sentiment, the overall like idea of it, I think is relatively sound. I don't know that I would say like Eric Crouch killed Nebraska football. Like, I'm not sure that I would go there. But the sentiment is Nebraska as a program got way too quarterback reliant. Still is I don't know what'll happen this year, but certainly was over the last couple of years.
There's some sound reasoning within this take.
And I also don't know that you can go the other way with the recruiting thing too. Like the idea is when you get a new quarterback, when you get a really good quarterback, let's just say Lamar Jackson or something like that.
So you said it was overrated.
Really good college quarterback. He's a good NFL quarterback too, but overrated. Don't come on. Don't get it twisted. You get a guy like Lamar Jackson, like you can still recruit to that and say, I'm going to be, you could come in and be the next Lamar Jackson. I don't think it's a detriment to the program that has said really good quarterback. So that part of it, I'm not so sure about it either. But I mean, the point is Nebraska's been too quarterback centric as a program, as a university. And yes, Nebraska has had a couple guys who have covered up a lot of their deficiencies elsewhere over the last couple of years. Coincidentally, let's take it to this year. And I'll explain to you the situation that I think Nebraska's in right now. It's basically the exact opposite. And you have to answer the question, which one's better? Which one would you rather have? I think Nebraska's in a situation right now where the roster talent is actually pretty good and they are devoid of the one or two guys that can make the team go to that next level. It's been that way for a couple of years now. So would you rather be the team that has that guy and is on the verge of, on the verge of falling apart with an ankle turn or an injury or, a helmet coming off or whatever it might be, like Nebraska was maybe in 2001 with Eric Crouch, or I'll give you another example like they were in 2014 with Amir Abdullah. Or would you rather be in the situation that they're in right now, which is, I just don't, do they have a standout? I don't know that either one's. I mean, you win more games with the dude, right? But you're always sort of one play away. And that's not to go to, we've talked about it for a few minutes already. That's sort of college football. There's going to be holes everywhere. It's how can you mask them? And how good is your good guy? How good is your dude? We're talking about in our world of college football, which does not include Ohio State and Alabama. We're talking about in reality in this world. Everybody's got holes. How do you cover them up? And how good are your guys that cover them up? That's sort of the game. So I'm never going to say, hey, Nebraska, you need to go out and get a stud player that can cover up all their holes, because they're covering up all the holes. Right? So I am going to rule on this. I will keep the existence of Eric Crouch. Eric Crouch, you may live. Congratulations.
At Happer Show on Twitter, Nate's Eric Crouch take. Good take or bad take?
There's some good reasoning in there. I'm not sure that I'm with the entire thing, but there's some good stuff in there.
Jamie tweets in that football in general is quarterback centric. That's why the Heisman has gone to a quarterback more often than not in the last 20 years.
Quarterback hits the stats, that's for sure. But to Nate's point, 2001 it was kind of Eric Crouch and nobody else. Okay, we have more questions. We got to get out of this soon. By the way, a lot of people telling us on Twitter that Alf got murdered at the end of Alf.
Yeah, the final minutes of the series I kind of forgot about, probably because as a child I blacked it out.
He was murdered in Alf?
Not necessarily. He lived in fear of the feds, and throughout the show he always said, hey, they're going to find me. They're going to experiment on me because I'm an alien. In the final episode, the U.S. government finds him and takes him away, and it says to be continued. But the show got canceled, and
oh my God,
we never got any real resolution on that.
It's implied that he is being tested by the feds?
Well, they were going to come back in the next season and get Alf out of it, but that never happened.
How do you know?
Well, I guess I don't know.
What if they would have
seems like a bold move for
Alf?
For Alf to kill Alf. Yes.
I don't know. This seems like a pretty weird show anyway. So
there was like a straight to DVD or VHS movie made after it to kind of give some people some resolution, but it was not good. I think Martin Sheen's in it, actually.
A couple quick ones. If you were to be slapped in the face by a piece of meat, what animal and which cut of meat would you like it to be?
An animal is going to slap me in the face?
No. Which animal meat?
Oh, okay.
Hey, slap me in the face with a brisket. The big hunkin' brisket.
Yeah, I want something big. I want something that's gonna
It looks soft. It looks almost pillowy.
Withstand. Yeah.
Put it on a shirt.
Rib.
Slap me in the face with a brisket.
Ribs are too hard. I think.
You don't want that. It's too
steak. I don't know. I'll go steak.
The problem, you can have one of those, the big bone-in ones.
Yeah, we don't want that.
That'd give you too much power. You could swing it wildly.
I'm gonna go steak.
I'm going with the brisket.
I'm gonna go nice boneless steak.
Couple more, maybe one more. You open the pizza box from your favorite pizza place and you see that the pizza is cut into squares. Are you randomly triggered on the inside because it should be triangles, or are you happy because it looks like there's more pizza in the box?
I'm closer to triggered. And then I go,
Are you triggered by square cut pizza?
I'm not triggered by it, but I do go, squares. Well, I guess it's pizza. I don't really care, and then I'm over it. But I do have a moment with myself where I go, huh, this is a square place, huh?
Okay, yeah, I'm with you there, and I wouldn't say that I'm triggered by square cut pizza, but it's always a bit of a surprise. It's always a bit of a surprise. And no, it doesn't. Does it look like it's more pizza?
Because the pieces are smaller, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm falling for that illusion, but I am with you. Give me the pizza cut pizza. The pizza that looks like pizza. Yeah, give me that.
Yeah.
You know, when they make like the breakfast pizzas and they call it pizza, it's not into squares. They don't cut that into squares. They cut it into slices.
Because they want you to think that it's pizza.
Exactly, because that's what pizzas look like. It's not that hard. All right, a lot of comments about Alf on the old Twitter here. On the game that you would change the most. This is a good one from Jamie. The College World Series game in 2005 against Arizona State. Yeah, we could maybe delete the existence of Jeff Larish. That would be awesome. That'd be sweet. The 86 Orange Bowl catch. The 96 Texas game. We said 0-1 Colorado earlier. We're doing this for Nebraska. Yeah, all good suggestions. Games, and then there's a lot of games over the last several years that I'd like to erase out of my memory, but none of which that would actually like change the future all that much. I don't think. 82 Penn State gets a nomination as well. All right, that's the tweet back today. Thank you for participating. Thanks to Nate for making a compelling case about the existence or lack of existence of Eric Crouch.
I like that.
This is where we get wild. We could stretch out a little bit. We'll come back. More up next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
So it is just like Severe says. It's just a walking movie.
They SEAL Team 6 into Mount Doom.
I mean, what kind of an action-adventure story is this? You don't meander into the breach. You attack the breach. You charge into the breach. What a dumb story this is.
It's Frodo. Imagine Nick trying to go into like a really protected area.
Again, Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Plenty of sunshine Wednesday and hotter with a high this afternoon in Omaha near 94 degrees. Winds out of the southeast stay light. Tonight, mostly clear and mild. Overnight lows into the mid-60s. We'll keep temperatures in the mid-90s as we head throughout the rest of the work week before reaching the triple digits potentially for your weekend. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620, The Zone.
Psst, come here. I got a secret weapon that'll make your family happy. Real happy. It's my new caramel toffee cookie combo. My big chocolate chip cookie covered with caramel and toffee bits. Add any medium specialty pizza piled high with the best toppings and loads of mozzarella on top. Plus any medium one-topping pizza. Caramel toffee cookie combo. Order now. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
When it comes to cement fiber siding, you want durability, hail and chip resistance, and beauty. You want James Hardie cement fiber siding. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. Call Carp's today or visit carpsomaha.com.
Hello, I'm Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. If you've been dissatisfied with your current banking situation, maybe it's time to move to a bank that works to deserve your business. We have an engaged staff that offers exceptional personalized service. We also have a great digital banking platform. We have 2 locations at 108th and Dodge or 202nd and Pacific. So if you're looking for a superior banking relationship, give us a call at 402-827-8100. We'll answer on the first ring. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
If you're passionate about coffee, you should consider a career at Host Coffee as a valued service technician to install, repair, and rebuild state-of-the-art commercial coffee, iced tea, espresso, juice, cappuccino machines, and water coolers. Apply today and join our team at hostcoffee.net/careers.
Did you get the Clement Horizon clean last night? I don't want another barnacle incident. Where's Ivan?
Kiki's head of docking operations just jumped ship.
What do you mean he's sailing around the world?
She needs a new marina manager to help keep her head above water.
Yeah, the tide's perfect, but we are slammed.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you prepared for more severe food shortages? It's likely that over the next year, serious food shortages will plague us. American farmers are dealing with insane diesel fuel prices and fertilizer shortages, which will lower crop yields. And that means your family's favorite foods will soon be in short supply while fetching sky-high prices. Inflation is the new normal, folks. It's time to act before things get even worse. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com without delay. You'll find ready-hour emergency food kits from My Patriot Supply that last up to 25 years in storage. Each kit provides over 2,000 calories a day to keep your energy up. Order your emergency food kits today by going to MyPatriotSupply.com. Your food ships fast and arrives in unmarked boxes. Listen, there are ways to beat food shortages. When you're ready for real preparedness, make sure to look for ready-hour foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Husker coverage on 1620 The Zone is presented by Tickets for Less. Tickets for Less is your local source for Nebraska football tickets. Compare and save today at ticketsforless.com. All the Nebraska football news, stories, experts, and coverage you need is on 1620 The Zone.
Josh's top 5 is coming up here in just a couple minutes. We'll also talk to Jake Eisenberg from the Omaha Storm Chasers. We'll just talk baseball with him. And a little Chasers as they've welcomed a couple new players to their roster as the baby Royals have graduated. They're on the Royals now. But there are still more coming through the ranks. People forget. Rex Hudler said on the day game broadcast yesterday, he reminded us all that the Royals have yet to be mathematically eliminated. He literally said that.
Well, there you go.
They're
Keep
only,
hope alive.
At the time, I don't know. I haven't checked it after last night, but they were only 13 and a half games out of first place. They're further out of the wild card than they are first place in the division, which is a bit of an indictment on mostly on the Chicago White Sox, but
yeah,
sort of exciting for me. I love making fun of the White Sox. Notre Dame AD Jack Swarbrick has some quotes regarding realignment, and he has thoughts on the Big Ten's media rights deal. He was asked, are there factors that would make Notre Dame consider a move from independence? Swarbrick says this, we've talked about them a fair amount. One is, do we have a committed broadcast partner who not only will carry all of our home games and all of our games nationally, but will compensate us for our media rights in a way that allows us to be competitive. So it starts with the question of a media partner. Secondly, is our access to the college football playoff. Do we, as an independent, retain adequate access? I think we've proved conclusively in the past 8 years that we've had it. Both those things will play out over time. I can't predict how much time. The follow-up naturally to that question is, okay, so how long? Like, what are we talking about here?
Can we get a date on that?
A year? 2 years? He says this. I think the college football playoff will be resolved as to what's next within that time frame. It's possible that the media situation could be, but the flip side of that is our contract runs through the 25 season. So hard to say. But those are the first two things. Third is a good home for our Olympic sports where they can compete for national championships, but also have schedules that sort of make sense for that. And the ACC has been a great partner for us in that regard. I'd like to make progress on the schedule front. It's so hard for our kids to travel the way they do. I think we've talked about it before, but when you're going to Tallahassee and you start with a bus trip to Midway and then you connect once along the way before you get there and then you're on a bus trying to get to campus, it's probably 18, 16 hours that you've been involved in traveling. So that's tough to be a pre-med major or a finance major and do that. So we're always looking for ways to make scheduling easier. But it's media, it's CFP, and it's our Olympic sports. Doesn't sound like there will be much movement here in the near term. And on top of that, he says this, This is Notre Dame's AD Jack Swarbrick on the Big Ten's new deal that's been reported over the last couple days. He says this, I think it's great. He and Kevin Warren have that in common. I think it's great for college football. They made a decision to have 3 linear broadcast partners in Fox who will principally have the big noon game, CBS who will have the 3:30 kick, and NBC who will have the primetime kick. And the more broadcasters, major networks we keep involved in college football, the better it is for everybody because they're invested. They want to promote the game. They want additional properties. So I think it was a brilliant strategy by Commissioner Warren. I think it played out marvelously for him. The timing could not have been better, and I think that when they finally announce the number, it'll be a pretty amazing one. But it's also perfect for Notre Dame. We need NBC to have more college football to effectively promote our games and to talk about our games and to have NBC be seen in that light. So that was great for us that they got a big piece of this. Okay, so that is one thing that I want to touch on today. We'll still hit that in the 1 o'clock hour. But Sam wrote about it a little bit today in the World Herald. These new partners being back into college football. NBC has a college football game. It's just been Notre Dame. But getting other games. CBS, they have the infrastructure, but it's now moved over to the Big Ten instead of the SEC. What else comes with that? This is where ESPN has the biggest advantage over those two networks. They are college football. They care about college football. They talk about college football. They have shows dedicated to college football on any of their various networks or offshoots of those networks. And along with the institutional, like we do the games. Those are hurdles that NBC and CBS have to get over. Who gets, Sam brought this up today, who gets the college football playoff selection show? Even if it's an NBC, CBS, ABC, ESPN event, and there are playoff games on all of those channels, who is the home of the college football playoff? And is that just spread around over years? I mean, right now it wouldn't make any sense for it to go away from ESPN.
Yeah, I guess it would rotate a la the Super Bowl, right?
Maybe.
And well, if you're airing it, you get the selection show.
So the other networks, it's just not quite as, I don't know, beefy as ESPN has it with their coverage of college football and the way they talk about college football. They just have a wider, expansive network, and they have some individualized markets that they can play to as well. They have talent that is dedicated in those specific markets. NBC and CBS's reach as far as college football is concerned is not that wide. Their net is not that big right now. Does that change as you add more football? Do you add more content, or do you just say, we're going to put our energy and effort to getting this game right, and you're going to tune into this game, and that's it? Because while the TV numbers matter, it's also the perception part of it too. So what kind of partners is the Big Ten getting with CBS and NBC? Is it just, we're going to do the games, we're going to take the ratings and get out? Or are they going to be a little bit closer to ESPN where, yes, they take the games and they take the ratings, but there's also so much college football talk?
Yeah, if NBC's doing the college football games right, I would probably stick out, because there's going to have to be some sort of studio show in between Notre Dame and the start of the primetime game. Like, you could get me to hang on in between those two if you're doing the games right.
Is there a podcast? Is there a Big Ten show on Peacock? Is CBS going to do something on the week? I don't know. Whatever comes with that, and that may be in the deal that gets announced, we'll see. But I do think it's an important part of the conversation. We'll talk about it more in the 1 o'clock hour. Josh's top 5 is next. Josh's top 5 Alf moments.
Oh no, that would take me forever to cultivate that list. Top 5 TV series finales.
Oh, good. Okay. Next on 1620 The Zone.
You could win $5,000 to have the ultimate tailgate party on 1620 The Zone. Enter now at 1620thezone.com.
This is Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center. We have run our business for years by helping the vehicle owner retain the value of their vehicle by working for them with warranted, safe, high-standard repairs. For this reason, Omaha vehicle owners have chosen Dingman's to repair their vehicles. Your loyalty has been shown through repeat business and amazing referrals. You've also voted us first place Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. We want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and our incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Snarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie. So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
As a veteran, you get a lot of advice. But wisdom's harder to come by. A lot of people imagine themselves in our shoes, without understanding the weight on our shoulders. The truth is, few can understand the pressure of finding your own way after serving in the military. But few isn't none. You've got support. You can't control the chaos, but you can chart your way through it. Steady yourself. Take a breath. You're not alone. Learn more at maketheconnection.net.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal from Langfeld Overhead Doors gets you a half-horsepower chain LiftMaster door opener, one remote, and installation valued at $450 for only $225. A LiftMaster garage door opener with remote plus installation half off for $225 is this week's half-off deal.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
All right, I'm curious to see how many of these I've seen. Josh's top 5 best TV show finales.
Yes, as we prepare to say goodbye to Better Call Saul next week.
RIP. I mean, you know, the show.
Yeah, I think Saul will end up maybe not just fine, but he'll live.
Are you sure?
No, not really.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I could flash all the way forward.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure about that one. We'll see. We'll see. All right, number 5.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
Hot take. The Sopranos. At the time, yes, I hated it.
Yeah, isn't this one talked about as like one of the worst?
It's talked about as both. As I've grown older, I've grown to appreciate it as a piece of art, even though it wasn't necessarily the most satisfying thing in the world at the time. I mean, I still remember it. It's very memorable.
Okay.
You get that Journey song pumping. It's really what I think about when I hear the Journey song now.
What Journey song? I don't
Stop Believing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Every time I see onion rings, I think, oh my gosh, is somebody going to kill me?
Here, I'll play the Publix part in here.
Okay.
What are you talking about? The series was so good, but the finale was terrible, and you can't convince me otherwise.
Well, as purely a piece of art, they did the thing you were expecting them to do in, Tony Soprano's got to get it in the end. And it came at it from another angle, and it made you go, huh, did they do it like the top in Inception? Just kind of made you wonder throughout the course of time.
Gotcha.
It's a big swing. It didn't work for everyone. I didn't like it at the time.
I like the shows that are so good that even if they're bad, somebody will argue for them.
Oh, yeah, like...
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I mean, there was definitely some episodes of Breaking Bad that were not... I mean, the Fly episode...
It did. Yeah, I was going to say, did you like the Fly episode of Breaking Bad?
So the Fly episode, the thought at the time was, oh my God, what just happened? That was the worst episode of TV I've ever seen. And now years later, people will go through their rewatch of Breaking Bad and they'll be like, hey, you know what? I kind of get the Fly episode now.
I remember at the time,
I still hate the Fly episode.
Binging it and you're just injecting these episodes right into your veins and you're trying to go as quick as possible.
Like,
and
wow, I just wasted an hour.
Yeah, it really made you feel like just kind of. I'm sure if I had been watching it, one episode a week every week, I would have appreciated it more. But in a binge, I was like, no, thank you.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4 is another HBO show, 6 Feet Under. The story about the lives of a family of funeral home directors, it just sort of like the last 5 minutes of the series, I think it's sort of like, okay, this is how this character dies, this is how this character dies, this is how this character dies. And it was just very...
Oh, they just wrap it all up?
Yeah, just kind of wrap it all up. Everybody
That's nice.
Died at different time periods.
I like that. We get the full story on all the characters.
Yeah, it's basically the exact opposite of The Sopranos. Like, okay, we're not going to leave you wondering what happens to all these people. We're just going to tell you. In 20 years, this person dies of a heart attack.
Rico and Vanessa stay together. Ruth dies at age 79. Keith is shot to death at age 61.
Mm-hmm.
Claire marries Ted. David dies at age 75. Rico dies at 75. Brenda dies at 82. And Claire dies at age 102.
Yeah. Everybody got a nice long life.
Well, except for the guy who gets shot.
Well, yeah. That probably wasn't very good.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
This is probably my most unexpected entry in this particular top 5. I'm going to go The Good Place.
Oh! Okay, how did this end?
It ended with they kind of realized, okay, we need to die or not die. Like we need to finish our afterlife. And they sort of all one by one slowly kind of made their peace with, okay, I'm not going to be a part of the afterlife anymore. I'm going to die, more or less. But
I got you.
You're fading into oblivion.
That show was good. That show had a nice little run there. It was a pretty big twist when...
Yeah, when you get to the end of the first season.
Yeah, and when you learn the twist.
Yes. Like, oh, okay, here we go. Yeah. That's a good show if you've never watched it. If you like Parks and Rec and The Office, it's a...
For sure.
Good little companion show.
Here comes 2.
Number 2.
Connor, it's The Office.
Yeah, sure. Hey, this belongs here.
It's just it's really sweet.
It's not too lighthearted. We get an appearance from the great Michael Scott.
That's what she said.
Characters wrap up their sort of relationship, timelines.
There's that line from Jimmy, does that talking head where he goes, I sold paper here for 12 years and I owe everything I have in my life to that stupid, crummy, kind of crappy job.
Yeah.
that I love.
Jim has a moment of clarity, even though he spends the entire show basically making fun of the place he works and not wanting to work there.
Yeah.
He's like, actually, this is great.
Yeah, it had that balance.
Andy Bernard has the line of, I wish you could know you were in the good old days before you left them.
Yes, that's one of those lines that I think about quite often. I was like, yeah, I do. This is kind of a dope saying it, but yeah, I do wish somebody would have told me, you know what?
Yeah.
That's probably like the best hangs that you're going to have.
Yeah, that one sort of still reverberates. It's a good ending for sure.
Which leads us to number 1, the greatest TV series finale of all time. Is it MASH? Is it Cheers?
The Wire.
I actually didn't like a lot of the 5th season of The Wire.
That's what a lot of people say.
You could end at 4 and it'd be mostly okay.
Breaking Bad.
It is Breaking Bad, actually.
Nice.
I liked the end of Breaking Bad. At a certain point in that last season of Breaking Bad, there was a line that was crossed where you have to pay for what you've done. This is no longer you are an anti-hero that we're rooting for. You had to pay for your sins.
Many people are dead,
and because of you. And
you're involved with neo-Nazis.
And you need to go now.
Yeah, this can't end well for you. But it ended as well as it possibly could. He got rid of the neo-Nazis, which is great.
Aaron Paul got to run away.
Jesse got to go, and then he drove his car away. That was nice. After being like a prisoner for the last, I don't know, however long that was in between. Couple of years maybe.
Yeah, it felt like a long time. I was going to say.
And Walt didn't get to die of cancer. He died of a gunshot wound.
That is correct.
Of himself, but not on purpose.
With that big. Sorry, I'm not a gun guy.
That big old gun.
That really big gun he attached to the car.
Really big gun. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's up there as well. Very, very good. All right, that's Josh's top 5 TV show finales. If you'd like to argue, please do so at Happer Show. Up next, we'll talk baseball with Jake Eisenberg from the Omaha Storm Chasers on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Many people go back to the dealership out of habit or because they think the dealer is the only one who knows how to fix their car. At Omaha Car Care, we offer a better option. We have ASE certified technicians, the technology to service any vehicle, and free loaner cars. The dealer will sell you a package of services. We'll provide the service you want for your car as your trusted partner. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
With gas prices surging to over $4 a gallon, high wage costs, and an annual inflation rate of 9%, now more than ever, it's critical for small businesses to save on health insurance. Hi, I'm Mark Schlange, owner of Marketplace Nebraska, and I can help. Stop wasting money on health insurance. I recently helped a small business save over $60,000 in premiums. If you own a small business and are struggling with inflation, let's talk to save money. Visit marketplacenebraska.com. That's marketplacenebraska.com.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory. Explore payment options and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
You can feel it. There's a new kind of energy. It's Maverick energy. Be a part of the new energy as the Omaha Mavericks run through the 2022-23 sports seasons. Hockey, basketball, volleyball, baseball, and more. Big energy, big games. Maverick season tickets for every sport you follow are available now. Get yours by visiting the Baxter Arena box office, calling 402-554-MAVS, or clicking omavs.com/ticks. Feel the energy. Maverick energy.
Tide presents Laundry Truths, Cold Hard Savings.
Oh, hey, about to start a load. On hot? You know, washing in cold water with Tide can save you up to $150 a year on your energy bill. $150? Go on. The lower the temp, the lower your bills. Simple. Plus, Tide Pods are designed for a powerful clean, even in cold. Wow, cool tip. Get it? Oh yeah, I get it.
Turn to cold and save with Tide. Energy savings based on average from switching from hot to cold and non-HE machines.
Teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
Yeah, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, anything, you need to tell an adult, someone you know and trust. That can be hard, but speaking up about a problem is what helping a friend is all about.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Cards issued by Celtic Bank, member FDIC. Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's credit cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 3.3% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports, ramp.com/sports, ramp.com/sports. Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Let's talk some baseball. Jake Eisenberg, the play-by-play voice of the Omaha Storm Chasers, live from Toledo, Ohio. Hello, Jake. How are you?
Hello, Connor. I'm well. How are you?
How's Toledo?
Toledo is beautiful. It is like 75 degrees here, a little bit cloudy. There's a nice little breeze. It was funny walking around here yesterday. I actually had a long sleeve pullover on because I was chilly. And I was trying to think of the last time that I was chilly, and I think it was April because it's been a heat index of like 150 million in Omaha for the last couple of weeks now. So
it's funny.
It was a nice change of pace to, be cold.
I think it was 38 for all of April, and then it immediately became 100.
Right. We skipped spring. What happened?
Yeah, that's pretty much the norm around here. Are you excited to get a new look or a look at some of the guys who are coming up? I know Nick Lofton is coming up, or maybe did play last night as the Baby Royals continue to sort of graduate onto the next level. Omaha gets their hands on some new guys too.
Yeah, there's some fresh faces. Nick Lofton made his AAA debut last night. Logan Porter also made his AAA debut tonight. But there are some other new faces that are kind of thrown into the mix. Also, Drew Waters is not a new face, but he's a new-ish face. He's now played 20-something games with the Storm Chasers. He's been great. Brent Rooker's now hit 3 home runs in 5 games since joining the Storm Chasers last week. On the pitching side, Max Castillo is slated to make his first start in the Royals organization this week, one of the pieces that came back in the Whit Merrifield trade. So there's a bunch of familiar faces and some new faces. There's some fluidity right now for the Storm Chasers roster, especially yesterday with the Royals doubleheader. So pieces coming and going, but it makes for some exciting baseball.
I know I've asked you this a million times, but I mean, none of what the guys are doing at the major league level is probably surprising to you, considering you've seen them in Omaha all year. But even the new guys who have come up recently, like Massey and Nate Eaton, I mean, no surprise there, right? They sort of go up to the big league level, and all of a sudden Kansas City's playing pretty well.
I mean, if there is one surprise out of that group, it's Nate Eaton, who didn't have the media heralded pedigree like the other guys that have debuted along with him this season. Eaton kind of flew under the radar. Not kind of, really did fly under the radar for a good portion of last season. It really wasn't until the Arizona Fall League last year that scouts and other media members were kind of talking about this Nate Eaton kid that can kind of do it all and do everything, and that's what he's done at the big league level too. It's not surprising that they're finding success. It's even less surprising that they're having so much fun while doing it. I mean, Connor, how awesome is it to watch this group go out and have fun with each other and tease each other and support each other. And Michael Massey said it the other day. Mike Matheny has said it, how having all those guys there collectively together gives them, some shoulders to lean on, some friends to have. When you're a rookie up in the big league by yourself, there's a lot of pressure to kind of keep your head down and fit in and do things the way you see other people doing them. But when you come up with a group of people that understand who you are and the kinds of things that you like to do, there's a lot more freedom to be yourself. And I think, players will tell you that when they can be themselves on and off the field, in the clubhouse, in the batter's box, on the mound, you feel more natural. And when you feel more natural, you think less about, any sort of societal pressure, and you perform. And that's exactly what we're seeing.
Whatever the Royals end up doing when this hits full bloom in a couple of years, I'm sure we'll see the clip of Vinny Pasquantino holding up Nicky Lopez on the Simba cam. That's exactly what you're talking about. I think it does a lot when they come up together.
That clip underscores everything, because right now, Connor, Nicky Lopez is basically the elder statesman of that Royals clubhouse. I mean, he's been up with the Royals for a few. He's got more at bats than most of the guys in the lineup combined. And here's Vinny Pasquantino, who was called up in late June, feeling comfortable enough to do that sort of thing in the dugout during the game with the guy who's really a veteran presence on this team. And it just shows you the cohesion in the clubhouse right now down in Kansas City. That was awesome. That was so much fun to see.
Jake, I want to go around baseball a little bit. I mean, you mentioned the weather. There has been some games over the last couple of weeks that have felt like a playoff game. I don't know if you stayed up late to watch the Seattle Yankees game last night, but that was pretty wild. Like it sort of sneaks up on you. We're getting down the stretch here. It's starting to feel like playoff baseball a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think you look at the teams that right now are in contention, like the Yankees, like the Mets, like the Braves and the Dodgers and the Astros, and you start to get the sense that every single game they play is a little bit of a preview of how they might approach postseason baseball, what they might do with their bullpen, what kind of lineups they might trot out, what matchups they're looking for. And for the teams that aren't in contention, you're starting to get a sense of what 2023 might look like. I think, just to turn it back to the Royals, that's kind of what we're seeing with the Royals right now. You're getting a little bit of a snapshot, a test drive, if you will, on what 2023 might look like. And I think that's pretty exciting. I saw a number the other day, actually. The Yankees haven't been playing as well. The Royals have actually been playing a lot better than their record overall indicates. Something like since the middle of June, the Royals actually have a better record than the Yankees. I thought that was pretty remarkable.
Yeah. Being there and seeing it up close in person, how fun is Edwin Diaz's entrance?
Oh, it is so cool. It gives you chills every time, and I'll take you behind the curtain a little bit more, because more often than not, when I'm with the Mets and Edwin Diaz is coming into the game, he's coming into the game to get the final 3 outs. And one of my roles on that broadcast is after the game ends, in the event of a Mets win, I do a post-game interview on the field for the post-game show. So I'm not really in the booth when Edwin Diaz is pitching more often than not. More often than not, when Edwin Diaz is into the game trying to get the final out and clinch the win, I'm right next to the field, right next to the gate waiting to go onto the field. So I'm really getting the full experience and atmosphere of Edwin Diaz pitching and how insanely good he is. And had the chance to talk to him a couple of times, as soon as he's walked off the field after his save. And it's just, it's incredible. The Narcos entrance with the trumpets is amazing. I've only seen it once or twice because I've only been at Citi Field once or twice, but you still feel, there's a palpable, energy when Edwin Diaz comes into a game at this point where it's like, okay, how many guys is he going to strike out? How many sliders is he going to throw that's going to make a guy look silly? And you just marvel at what he's been able to do this season.
I don't want to jinx it too much, although it'd make my producer here, Josh, really happy if I did. But the Mets have sort of survived this a little lull, and they're back on top of the division by 7 games now. Had a huge series win this weekend against the Braves. Like I'll ask you this question. You can take it however you want. It feels like this team has it, whatever it is. Obviously, the pitching is a really big deal when you look ahead to the postseason. I don't know. This has to be as good as you felt if you've been a Mets fan in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this team draws a lot of comparisons to the 2006 team, which everyone kind of felt like was the team. That team wound up going to the National League Championship Series, and I'm not really sure. I can't remember exactly what happened. I think they did. Yeah, I mean, it's in the past. Anyway,
we'll talk about Andy Chavez.
Right. I think this team draws a lot of comparisons to that team and how good and fun that team was. And frankly, I think that this Mets team is better than that team in 2006. And I think you kind of saw it this past weekend with what they were able to do against the Atlanta Braves. It wasn't just that they went out there and they shut down a Braves offense that's been really good this season. Starting pitching depth is there, I think, better than it was in 2006. But you look at the offense and you look at what Spencer Strider said after his start, how the Mets, sort of got lucky here and there. And it's not so much luck, it's that the Mets just make a ton of contact. And the more contact you make, the more hits are going to fall, the more runs you're going to score. The Mets offense is not a home run reliant offense, and so they can string hits together and really just put other teams in the dirt early on. That first at bat that Brandon Nimmo had in that game against Spencer Strider, it was a 10-pitch at bat, and then Nimmo lined a single to left center field. And that has been the mantra for the Mets offense this season, is just grinding out at bats, making other starting pitchers throw a ton of pitches, and then cashing in on the opportunities, whether it's with 2 outs or runners in scoring position. And when you get to October, the things that every World Series team has in common are good starting pitching with depth and timely hitting. And right now, that is the crux of why the New York Mets are so good.
Jake, a long road trip coming up here with Toledo. You started a 6-game series last night, then Louisville. But when they come back, they'll play the Yankees AAA affiliate in Scranton Wilkes-Barre. That's fun. I don't think we've had that here in Omaha really ever. So I would expect that to be a pretty good crowd. What do the next 2-3 weeks look like for the Chasers?
Well, I'll say that it's been a very long time since the Scranton franchise made its way to Omaha. You'd have to go back to the AAA Alliance days, 1988 through 1991. And we'll have to dive into the record books to see when exactly that was. And I'll have to double check to see exactly who Scranton was affiliated with at that point. But the main point is that it was before I was born. So, it's been a pretty long time since Scranton made its way out to Omaha, but that'll be a fun week. It's the first time that the Yankees AAA affiliate is coming to Omaha in a long time. The Columbus Clippers used to be the Yankees AAA affiliate. They also made their way out to Omaha during those AAA Alliance years. So it's been a while since the Baby Bombers have found themselves in Omaha, Nebraska. As for the next couple of weeks, well, we got a nice week here in Toledo at Fifth Third Field, taking on the AAA affiliate of the Detroit Tigers. It was a pretty heartbreaking loss last night for the Storm Chasers. They're trying to get back in the win column tonight. One big positive yesterday was Jackson Kowar was insanely good. He threw 4 innings, did not allow a hit, did not allow a run, did not issue a walk. He struck out 8, and he would have been perfect if not for 1 hit by pitch. He was as good as I think we've seen him this entire season, and that's hopefully a sign of very good things to come for Jackson Kowar. Next week, the Chasers are in Louisville, take on the Louisville Bats. It's the second time this season that the Chasers will find themselves at Louisville Slugger Field in Louisville. So, longest road trip of the year. Chasers are hoping to, get a little bit back above 500. I know it's been a struggle this season. It's been around 500 for most of the year, but hoping to return to Werner Park with a winning record and some momentum and see everybody for the last week of August.
Music to my ears about Jackson Kowar, that's for sure. Jake, we'll let you go. Appreciate you taking the time. We'll chat soon.
Always. Take care, Connor.
Jake Eisenberg from the Omaha Storm Chasers. Baseball man. Does a little New York Mets. I would very much enjoy going to Citi Field to watch Edwin Diaz's entrance at some point. I've also enjoyed the little Twitter bit over the last couple of days of people putting whatever song they want behind that. That's been kind of fun too.
Oh yeah, one of those. Okay, I haven't seen any of those, but yeah, that would be fun.
That's pretty good. I enjoy that piece of it. Good stuff about Jackson Kowar. I think the main thing, and if you're a Royals fan, it's significant. This is my moment where I could, talk about the Royals a little bit. I don't care. I'm doing it.
Do it. People enjoy your baseball takes.
We all wanted to see those guys up earlier. And now it feels like the future is here. I'm going to give the front office a little bit of credit here because I do think there is a method to the madness of bringing up Bobby Witt Jr. and he's there by himself first and getting comfortable and being with some of the veteran players and having a little bit of that rub off on him being a big leaguer. And now that everybody and people have sort of gradually joined him, like MJ Melendez and Vinny Pasquantino, and now everybody else that's come up like Massey and Prado and Eaton. And those guys have come up and now they sort of look to, Bobby Witt Jr., he gets the keys.
De facto leader.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He gets the keys along with, a guy like Nicky Lopez. I think that was sort of by design and how they did that and how they sort of want their leadership structure to look like going forward. It looks and feels a lot like it did when the guys started to make their debuts the last time around in 2011 and 2010. And then it stunk for another couple years and you're like, it's not going to happen. It's not happening fast enough. but it ended up happening. So I don't know. Maybe that's where you could sort of look back to. Yesterday was the 11-year anniversary of Salvador Perez making his major league debut. They always showed the highlights of him playing and backpicking that guy in Tampa and how weird it looked and how skinny he was, how small of just a person he was. That's always fun. But it's starting to feel like that. And guess what? The process gets expedited if you win fast, right? if they prove they can, if this group proves they can win in the back half of the season here, the last 6 weeks,
better record than the Yankees.
The process gets, the process gets expedited a little bit. So, I mean, they're a stick to the process group over there, but I'd like to see them put a little pressure on them. It's a good group of young guys, and I'll say this too. While we'll see what happens, we'll see what develops in terms of star power. Obviously, Bobby Witt Jr. is going to be a huge star, I think. This run of guys, when you compare it to the Hosmer, Moustakas, Perez group, it's deeper. It's deeper. I mean, the lineup's covered in rookies, and it looks like a lot of guys who are going to be hits at this point. It's early, but it looks like a lot of guys who are going to be hits. All right. Thank you for
Royals put out an infograph today of Vinny's power thus far.
Vinny, Melendez, they're all hitting.
And they had great. It's Wallpaper Wednesday.
Oh, of course,
as you know. So they did the Simba drawing, just a animation of it.
Somebody suggested that they make that into a bobblehead, and I couldn't agree more.
Oh yeah,
good
idea.
Bobble Vinny's arms.
Yep.
Couldn't agree more. Do that. All right. Thank you for letting me stretch my legs in the Royals a little bit. We will come back. Plenty still to come. We could jump back into what we were talking about a little bit earlier with the brands and a couple questions that I have, and one or two that Sam posed today in his story in the World Herald. We'll Husker football talk next. 1620 The Zone.
Previously on the crossover.
When you have the tin of popcorn, it has the 4, the cheese, the white, the caramel.
You're bougie. You went 4. Usually it's 3.
Is it 3? Okay.
Yeah.
But there's always one that's about 75% gone before any of the others are touched. Which one is it?
Caramel.
Cheese. Caramel. Oh, no.
All 3 are garbage.
Whoa! Popcorn's out.
Sharp and Benning in the morning. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P, 1620. The Zone. The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Plenty of sunshine Wednesday and hotter with a high this afternoon in Omaha near 94 degrees. Winds out of the southeast stay light. Tonight, mostly clear and mild. Overnight lows into the mid-60s. We'll keep temperatures in the mid-90s as we head throughout the rest of the work week before reaching the triple digits potentially for your weekend. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV News Watch 7.
Be a part of the Host Coffee team today. Host Coffee is hiring a service technician. If you'd like to work for a trusted and loyal family-owned company that understands the needs of working families, Host Coffee has your opportunity. Apply today and join our team at hostcoffee.net/careers.
No one in Omaha can install a better roof at a better price with a better warranty than Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Let our local family serve your family. Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Call today or visit us online at shamrockroofer.com.
Suck it up.
It's not a big deal.
Snap out.
Just get over it.
We've all heard it. But if you're experiencing extreme stress, it's not just in your head. It can affect your entire body because toxic stress can hurt us physically without us even knowing it. If you've lost a job, worry about your next meal, or have trouble making it through the day, if you're feeling the effects of stress, we can help. Text stress to 211-211 to find a solution.
I know I need to pay attention to my health, but I just can't seem to find the time. Between rushing to work and taking care of the kids, there's not much time left over for me. So I decided to start small. by eating more fruits and vegetables and being more active. And then I got the family to make some changes too. We started by keeping a bowl of fresh fruit on the counter, and I limit the amount of sweet snacks I keep in the house. I've also found some creative ways to add more vegetables to our meals. We're taking more walks, and on the weekends, we head down to the pool at the rec center. It doesn't happen every day, but it does happen. You don't have to change your entire life to be healthier. Just make some simple changes and include your family. You'll see how easy and fun it can be.
You can make a difference. Eat smart, play hard. And when you do, your kids will too. A challenge from USDA.
Morning, Mama. How you feeling?
Great, and I'm ready for you today.
I'm checking in on you. Morning meditation?
Check.
Dressed and ready to work out?
Check.
Check your blood pressure yet?
And check.
Boom! Great job, Mom. And about those gold earrings?
No, ma'am.
Now more than ever, it's important that we protect our hearts and the hearts of those we love. Monitor your blood pressure daily and help each other stay motivated. Rally your squad to take the online pledge at releasethepressure.org. Brought to you by the Release the Pressure Coalition and the Ad Council.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal from Langfeld Overhead Doors gets you a half-horsepower chain LiftMaster door opener, one remote, and installation valued at $450 for only $225. A LiftMaster garage door opener with remote plus installation half off for $225 is this week's half-off deal.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
All right, one little spare baseball thing, because I thought it was funny from last night. The Mets broadcast, for those of you who don't know, we end up talking about the Mets quite a bit on this show, but
we sure do, Connor.
The Mets broadcast is really good and sometimes even funny. That's rare. It's a good group there with Gary Cohen and Keith Hernandez. Well, here's Keith Hernandez last night on explaining some of his absences recently and then going forward. We'll let him take it away.
So it's the night game and the day-night doubleheader.
I missed both Philly series. I have to go this weekend to St. Louis for the 40th anniversary of '82. I'll join you in Atlanta. And then
what's your excuse the following weekend?
It's a scheduled off series, and I've expressed to the front office, not the Met front office, our front office or SNY, that I hate doing Philly games. So I guess they gave me the series off.
You hate doing Philly games?
Oh, because they always never seem to. Oh, up and in fastball. They never seem to disappoint. I mean, over the years, now they're hot right now. I would like to see them, but as far as fundamentally and defensively, the Phillies have always been just not up to it.
Maybe we can shoehorn you into the schedule now that they're playing well and maybe up to your standards.
Well, we'll see. Don't hold your breath.
There is Keith Hernandez, who says that he doesn't do Philly games because they suck.
The fundamentals, they're just bad at the fundamentals, so I'm not showing up. What about when you play the Marlins or the Nationals?
They never seem to disappoint. I believe he was talking about in terms of doing things fundamentally poorly. It's pretty good stuff by Seinfeld star Keith Hernandez.
That's a good clip. That's funny.
I've communicated with our front office that and you could tell that like he was trying he was going to go down that road and then maybe rethought it. The little moment where he goes, "Oh, up and in a 3-1 pitch." Yeah. Like he wanted to sort of get out of it.
But then the play-by-play guy's like, "No, we are here. Yeah, we are sitting in this.
I'm not going to save you here.
I have to do every single one of these games.
I'm not going to save you. You have to explain that since you started, you have to explain to people why you don't do Philly games." And the answer is because basically they sucks.
Not doing the Phillies.
He doesn't like the way they play. Awesome.
Just terrific.
Okay, so let's straighten some things out here. The post-practice media availability for Nebraska. Dakota Crawford didn't talk or did not practice today. Mickey Joseph said that. And then he was asked, and then he said, hey, if you want to follow up on that, ask Mark. Somebody said that they thought Mickey said ask the trainer. Sam McEwen on Twitter said that Mickey said talk to Frost, which they all sound a little bit different, by the way. It appears as if people are triggered about this entire thing in some way, shape, or form. Somebody responded, said the actual Joseph quote he said was ask Mark. You can find it on YouTube. He didn't say ask Frost. I'm not taking this guy's journalism serious anymore. I'm not taking this guy's journalism serious anymore for a common mistake. At a tweet from a press conference.
Got a hunch you're not going around that paywall, Twitter guy.
Sam responded to that. He says, yes, you are correct. Joseph said, talk to Mark. I heard Frost. I was wrong.
Typical lamestream media.
Trying to make something out of nothing.
Admitting their mistakes. Just give Frost the 12-year extension now.
I mean, I don't know. I am not oblivious to the fact that this happens in some places, but do people think the Nebraska media is really out to get you or get somebody? Like, seriously, we're talking about football. We're talking about football, and we're talking about a tweet where he said the incorrect name. I'm not taking this guy's journalism seriously anymore. We've created this environment now where you go to these press conferences and people are rushing to get out these tweets of quotes that they say that are generally unimportant, but were rushed because everybody else is doing it at the same time. And he just so happens to make a mistake on either what he heard or what he typed in with his fingers. So what?
You got to get the story right. You're a journalist. Got to get the story right. Triple check your facts.
Also, what are we looking at with Turner Corcoran's shirt here?
Thank you. What does that shirt say? It says the Lube Room. Acquiring STDs daily. I'm going to assume it says daily, but his jacket is covering it up. There's a man lifting, 2 drums of oil.
STD has to mean something else in this situation.
I assume it does. I just don't know what that something is. I'm glad you brought it up.
Investigative report. But that was in the picture attached to the story that Sam tweeted out today, which was about how they need more leaders and people to step up on the offensive side of the ball. So if you wondered how things are going at practice and how people are responding, not great. Not great.
Could be a long year. Could be a long season.
We're already triggered at each other.
And who are we asking about the coldest?
Who are we supposed? Apparently, we're supposed to ask Mark.
Mark, okay. I will go upstairs and ask our boss.
I thought originally it was about the trainer.
About the coldest Crawford.
Can we find this audio somewhere so we can make the call for ourselves?
Let's break it down like the Zapruder film.
Are we asking Frost? Are we asking Mark? Who are we asking about the coldest Crawford? I don't want to ask Frost about him. He won't tell us anything.
I'll ask anyone about
He won't
him.
say anything about injuries. The official Husker fan of Dallas tweets in at Happer Show. the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed. More importantly, did anyone ask Mark? Did anybody ask anybody about Dakotas Crawford? No, I did not believe Mark. I do not believe Mark talked today. So this is what happens.
Mark did talk today because he said that.
Mark talked today.
He let us in on the
maybe Mark talked
defense
before
winning. Yeah.
Mark talked before.
Gosh,
media
journalists. I'm done following your journalism, Connor.
There's press conferences. The press conferences are after the open windows of practice that people get to see. They notice, hey, look, there's a guy sitting out. That's kind of weird. Would you like to talk about this a little bit? No, you're going to have to ask somebody else. This could be cleared up. Right? Because people see that people are missing from practice, and you naturally want to ask, hey, why wasn't Turner Corcoran practicing today? What's up with that? Oh, sure, I'll tell you. He's just got a nick and a bruise, you know. It's camp. It's pretty normal stuff. Let's move on. But, you know, sometimes it can't be that easy. Joel tweets in, so we're officially over the hump from off-season hype to regular season purgatory. Cheers to the arrival of football season. Yeah, it's actually the worst part. This really is purgatory because there are no games and there are practices that we could barely see. So basically what that results in is just chatter, people talking about things, but there's almost actually football.
Yeah, close enough to where we got to be talking football. Not close enough where anything substantial is going on.
Okay, would you agree with this, Josh, as a somewhat, a third party here? Jamie says the Nebraska media has established a negativity around the program that I do not believe exists nationally.
I would think that is especially true for this season. Nationally, people are looking at that schedule going, yeah, that should be 8 wins. Yeah.
Do you think the media has done this?
I think the media
perpetuated it.
Yeah, there's a negativity from I think the radio media, like us here, like we're all just waiting for it to topple over somehow, some way. And I think the print media is a little more like, this guy's on the hot seat, but let's see what happens.
Yeah. I guess you can only say that so much.
Yeah, like on
that's
the radio,
that's kind of where I'm at.
On the radio, we can't say that 4 hours a day, every day for 6 months.
Play both sides. I mean, I try to anyway, I guess. I had it written down on my sheet. The old question of what if this works? What happens? Just going through the different scenarios. We run through it a billion times. I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily created by the media. I think it is mostly created by the fact that they haven't had very much success in the last 4 years.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
It's not made up in the terms of I am creating a narrative out of thin air.
There it is. So, what I don't disagree with is the idea that it is heavy around here when things are bad. There's just there is a lot of media. There's a lot of talk about the football team. There's a lot of interest in it, even when it is bad. So when things aren't going well, all that gets talked about is the things that aren't going well. And that gets really heavy.
Right.
Is that a media thing? Well, it stems from the fact that there is so much media, but why is there so much media? Because there's so many people who care about it. It's sort of an ecosystem. I don't know. Like
radio, you kind of spin your wheels.
Yeah.
Day in, day out.
I don't know. I just from knowing almost everybody in there, like I just don't know that there's anybody who is purposefully spinning it in a way to make it negative. I think it makes our lives a lot better when things are positive, things are happy. But I guess you got to, it could either go one way or the other when games aren't happening right now.
Jamie asked, when's the last time you made a positive spreadsheet about the Nebraska football program?
Let me check my spreadsheets. I could tell you that answer right now.
Really?
What's a positive spreadsheet?
I don't know. Chronicling a positive trend in the Nebraska football program.
Okay. Spreadsheets, by the way, are mostly databases. Like they don't have positive or negative spins. They are just information. So keep that in mind when I read these. Scott Frost era results. Is that a positive or a negative spreadsheet? Well, I guess it's technically a negative spreadsheet. They've gone 15-29. Big Ten West against the spread since 2018. Super Big Ten. You weren't here for that when I did Super Big Ten when I made the new conference.
That was positive. That was fun, right?
Scholarship distribution, portal gains and losses, Frost era running back wide receiver recruits, rushers under Scott Frost.
You got anything in there about both teams having fun?
Sweet 16 QB portal tracker. Final Four Ken Palm era, Fred Hoiberg era results.
You got any John Cook spreadsheets in there?
NFL teams categories. What the hell does that mean?
Oh, yeah. It was like bird mascots.
Nebraska quarterback since Crouch. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Big Ten basketball power rankings with tiers. Picks from last year. Any of those interest you? Should I take a click on any of these? Yeah.
No?
Yeah, there's some good stuff in there. I don't know. Are those positive or negative? I don't think spreadsheets are either one really, but that's just because I think they're information. That's all.
Wow, way to duck the question.
I'm just saying that's how I view it. Now, the conclusions that we make based off of the information that we get, those could be negative. Those could be negative conclusions. Like for instance, the rushers under now, actually, maybe they're not even a negative conclusion. So for example, the rushers under Scott Frost. I made that spreadsheet because of the original idea that the hypothesis in my head that I thought Nebraska was a much better football team when they run conventionally with the running back, and their quarterback running numbers correlate to how much they win or lose. That was the original idea in my head. That turned out to be true. So is that positive or negative? I solved Husker football with that spreadsheet. Run the quarterback less. Problem solved.
And would
you call that negative, Josh? I don't think so.
Did you mail this to the fine folks in Lincoln?
Of course I did.
Okay.
Without response. I told everyone I knew about it.
But you put it in the Dropbox, the big metal door?
I send it off in an email.
Okay.
Scott Frost, why don't you take a look here? I did not send that to Scott.
Did you flag it high importance?
Are you saying I didn't do everything I could? I could send it over.
Yeah, you don't want to sit on that kind of information.
Scott Frost opens up his email. What's a spreadsheet? You guys! Oh my God, it turns out we run the quarterback too much. This is crazy. We have to stop now.
I just envision you being like Donald Glover in The Martian. Like, hey, guys, you stand on one end of the room. You stand on the other. I need a stapler and a pen.
Yeah.
I will solve Nebraska football.
I did it. I cracked the code. Unfortunately, I'm the only one who knows. Me and listeners of my shows. We will round things out.
There are dozens of us.
Poll questions and what to watch tonight next on 1620 The Zone.
You could win $5,000 to have the ultimate tailgate party on 1620 The Zone. Enter now at 1620thezone.com.
You want to go to a professional sporting event, you want to go to a college sporting event, you want to go to a play, you want to go to a concert. Go where I go, ticketsforless.com. When I'm looking to find the best seats to the show or the big game, I go to ticketsforless.com, formerly Ticket Express. Same great customer service. And most importantly, with ticketsforless.com, no outrageous ticket fees when you get ready to check out. The ticket price you see is always the price you pay. Unlike the other guys, they don't tack on a per ticket service fee at checkout. It's ticketsforless.com. Get yourself in the game today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hi, I'm Casey Kane. You would think that as NASCAR's 2004 Rookie of the Year, I get my biggest thrill driving fast. But it's off the racetrack that I get one of life's greatest rewards, helping others through volunteer service. Working with kids is one way that I try to make a difference. The first time I visited chronically ill children in the hospital, I found out just how rewarding volunteering could be. By giving a little of my time, it brightened their day. I was so inspired that I started my own foundation to help sick children and kids without an opportunity to have a better chance at life. Through volunteer service, you learn things about the people you're helping, and you find out a few things about yourself. Volunteering is a rush, just like taking the checkered flag. Go to volunteer.gov to find out what drives you.
This is President George W. Bush. USA Freedom Corps has a volunteer opportunity that's just right for you. Visit volunteer.gov. When you help your neighbor, you help your nation.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you.
Paid for by NHTSA.
All right, welcome back. Rounding things out here on a Wednesday. The Connor Happer Show. 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Let's pull up the poll questions today. Remember, if you'd like to vote in any of these, you can at any time at Happer Show, but you only have one day to do so. Are we sending Jimmy Allen to an early grave? Jimmy claimed this morning that he has slept 6 combined hours this week. Probably not great.
Doing the morning show with a young child and another one on the way.
And a job.
Oh,
and then doing more radio in the nighttime. Yeah, I'm going to vote yes. 74% agree. Are nicknames back? Not sure why this question was posed.
We were talking about Vinny Pasquantino and his dual nicknames. Breakfast Sausage King of the Midwest or something?
Yeah, that's it.
Or the American Nightmare?
Yes, 66%.
Yeah, I think nicknames are back. Yeah.
Which would you rather have, a QB that spins it or a QB that slings it? This is my favorite poll question of the day. Maybe not. There's one more that's pretty good. I'm more of a guy who spins it. I like when he spins it. I like a good spiral. 64% they'd like to sling it.
Walter commented, quarterback that doesn't turn it over.
Walter's been on that train.
Yeah, in a perfect world, sure.
Did you like Alf?
Hell yes.
I did not watch Alf. but I feel like I would like Alf. So maybe this is a yes for me. 67% say yes.
Good job, audience.
Are turkey legs overrated? Why did this come up? Is this something that Nate said?
Somebody tweeted us this question. We didn't have time to get to it for the tweet bag, so I turned it into a poll question.
Perfect. No would be my answer. 58% say yes?
I think I would vote yes.
Oh, no. Why?
Looks great, smells great. You take a bite and you're like, this is a little tougher than I wanted it to be.
Turkey gets a bad rap. Turkey is good, guys.
I like turkey.
We're happy that turkey's here, right?
This isn't the Ravi Lula show yet.
Good. Oh, yeah. Well, we could maybe discuss this on the crossover. I could talk about turkey. Turkey talk. And finally, Nate's Eric Crouch take. Good take or bad take? I appreciate his reasoning. I don't think he's far off on some of the reasoning, but it doesn't quite connect for me. Bad take.
Ooh, bad take. Okay.
62% say good take.
I kind of had the same reasoning, and I said to myself, even though I don't agree with it, I'm going to go good take.
He made a compelling case.
Yeah.
And you're always going to give extra points to the guy who makes a compelling case.
He had clearly thought this out.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't completely disagree with the sentiment. If you want to hear that, you could just listen to the tweet bag today. But yeah, I'm still not going to say no to a really, really good quarterback. You'll understand that if you listen to it. Anyway, what are we watching tonight?
A couple baseball games on tonight. 7 o'clock FS1, White Sox Royals. Nationally televised game tonight.
Let's go.
MLB Network, 9 o'clock, Twins Dodgers. And then Little League action going on all day today. Your night games, 6 o'clock ESPN 2. The Metro Regional between New Jersey and Connecticut. Winner gets New York in the regional finals. The West Regional at 8 o'clock, Arizona versus Northern California. Winner gets Hawaii in the regional finals.
Always Hawaii.
Yeah. 7:30 ESPN, the MLS All-Star Game. This year's format has it MLS All-Stars versus Liga All-Stars.
Sure.
In Minneapolis.
La Liga?
This says Liga MX.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
I'm not a soccer guy. Is it La Liga? Is it something else? I don't know. I'm sorry.
Maybe La Liga got rebranded.
Mm-hmm. And parents rejoice. Disney Plus has 25 new episodes of Bluey on today.
I heard the dads talking about this.
The dads enjoyed them some Bluey. It's a pretty good show.
Okay.
We have the 17th season finale of So You Think You Can Dance at 8 o'clock tonight on Fox. 2 finalists perform 5 dances each before the audience decides who outperformed the other.
Sure.
And
sounds like just a dance show.
It does. And my final recommendation tonight, it is a movie on VH1 at 8 o'clock. It is called Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the
right.
Hood. Before Scary Movie, there was this. The Wayans brothers star in a send-up of early 90s films that chronicled the Black experience in crime-riddled portions of L.A.
Very good. Very good. I want to sink this in. Speaking of what to watch, Nebraska's first game against Northwestern on Big Fox. This will be the debut on Fox of one Jason Benetti.
Awesome. Now, is he going to Ireland, or is this going to be a Zoom broadcast?
Likely. He's probably going to have to miss it's probably an easier pull when the White Sox are bad.
I'm getting off this train, guys. I'm going to Ireland.
That's the show today. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Crossover is next.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.